Alright, it looks like it's working. You can, you can kind of see, everything on screen. Okay. Now I can turn the light off so there's not like a glare on the screen, because last time I did a live stream, or, well, it wasn't a live stream, it was a video, where I tried to film the screen like this. Um, all of a sudden, I noticed there was a big glare on the screen because there was because the light was on, so hopefully that'll fix it. Hello everybody. We're doing another one of these. I've been really tired today, but for some reason playing this this single Sonic Tennis game always seems to be able to get me out of the moods that I get into. I don't know why. C in the chat says hello, Star. Hello there. I don't know what it is about this specific game, but it's like I can just endlessly play this game. It's very weird. Like I love playing as the Sama de Amigo character. Um, Maybe it's just because I'm such a big Sega fan that I like I like playing as these old characters and seeing them battle against one another. But one thing about me is that I really love tennis games. Like if you go back through my channel, um, one of the first I guess decent analysis videos I made was the video I made on Pong, where it was called I Fucking Love Pong, in which I attempt to like analytically explain why Pong is such a good game in like 2018 or whenever that video was made. I think it might have been, was it 2017? It might have been 2017 that that video was made. Like I was trying really, really hard to explain why Pong was good in modern terms, because I would just play it constantly. And to this day, like in school, when I'm in school and I'm like listening to music on my phone or something, I don't usually bring my phone just because I tend to have headphones in when I'm going to sleep, and so because of that, my phone isn't charged in the morning. But if I bring my phone in and I'm listening to music on it, after I've gotten my work done, I'll just sit there and play Pong on the computer. It's like I can endlessly play that game. I don't know what it is. It's just too black. I mean, I know what it is because I made literally like 4 videos talking about it back in the day, but it something about games like this, I can just play them forever. Um, and this game looks like surprisingly good on the PS2. Like it's a later PS2 release, 2008. Um, that was when PS2 games were kind of on their way out. You had the 360 out at the time and stuff, but this game, compared to other PS2 games, it actually looks pretty good. The PS2 wasn't exactly known for like the breadth of its graphics or anything. Probably out of all of the consoles in that generation, it probably looked the worst out of them, but the games were just so good, and like graphically, like if we go by the standards of the time, it wasn't like terrible or anything, but it definitely was like the worst out of all of the consoles at the time graphically. Man Chronicles in the chat says hello, hello there. Um, I'm really tired today, so I'm trying to fix the tired feeling by playing video games. I just drank some caffeine because I've been tired the whole day. I don't have school tomorrow, thankfully. I somehow have gotten Monday and Tuesday off. They never told me why. They just said, "Oh, you have Monday and Tuesday off." So I've been enjoying this time by listening to podcasts and talking on IRC in between playing rounds of tennis here. And playing this tennis game, it gets me out of my bad mood because I was in a pretty shitty mood today. Um, but when I play this game, I just feel better. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day on IRC, and I was saying that um, if I could just CIA got me again. They got me again, guys. Um, but yeah, I got 2 days off. Whoa, when did you start streaming? I started streaming 5 minutes ago. Yeah, 5 minutes ago. XY in the chat says, caught you live. I've never seen you before. I don't think I've seen you comment on my videos either. Hello there. Um, but yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine on IRC about how, about how if I could just live in a state in which I played video games forever, that would be like the ideal life. Because I've noticed like not very many things make me happy. There's actually very few. Most of my life is just being indifferent or being sad. Um, and so, like, I've noticed that one of the few things that I get genuinely excited about or really enjoy on a consistent level is video games. Where, I look back like at all of the times where I was the most depressed, and the times in which I logged in like the most hours on CS:GO, for instance, it was always when I was really sad. And I actually felt better at the time doing that. That's the thing, is that like even though the depression was there, the fact that I was playing that game and I could listen to a podcast while I was doing it made the feeling better. It made it feel like I was away from what was happening. Um, and I think maybe one of the reasons why I hate school so much is because I go to school each day, and I can't really avoid the fact that I'm feeling that way. Like I'm just kind of stuck with the fact that I'm sad there. And of course, I get more sad because I don't like being around the people, and I get more sad because I'm doing work that by and large I don't enjoy. I kind of enjoy the math, but most of it is just kind of like, put in something in the bubble and then move on, and it's not really satisfying work to do. You're not really doing problem solving, you're just kind of memorizing stuff. And so I get in this habit where like I'll just be sitting there in the chair, um, and I'll think, and I'm trying not to have these thoughts because I know thinking these things is making the problem worse. But I get into this habit where I keep thinking like, man, I wish I was at home right now. I wish I could be doing this. I wish I could be doing that. And I know thinking that way just reinforces the problem. Like I had a therapist some time ago where they said, if you're constantly thinking about the stuff that you don't have, then you're just going to feel worse. And that is true, but it's hard not to think about it. Like it's hard to keep those thoughts out of my mind when I had already felt bad in the first place. Like the way that I deal with feeling bad most of the time, is by doing things that I enjoy. Uh, and so if I can't like play a video game while I'm in school and I'm feeling depressed that day, how do I deal with it? Let me read through the chat. There's a bunch of stuff here. Um, this is the first live stream I've caught live. Nice. Nice seeing you in here, Jana Ellis. Man Chronicle says video games are the ultimate escapism. I completely agree. And I got into video games at a really young age. I was like 2 years old the first time I played a video game. It was Sonic Adventure, and I played Worms and a couple other games on the Dreamcast. And I started getting into like PS2 and Xbox and GameCube at the time. And 3, 4 years old, that was when I started getting more into it because I like my consciousness was expanding or whatever. And so I started being able to be more aware of things. But by the time I was 5 years old, I was like completely obsessed. Like there was no going back. I would play video games all the time that I could. I was completely obsessed with it by the time I turned five. Um, and so it's been like the one consistent thing. Like I remember playing Psychonauts a lot when I was like, what was it, 7 or 8 years old. I would play Psychonauts when my parents would be fighting in the other room, and so they would be like shouting their lungs out, like screaming in the other room. And what I would do is I would turn the knob up on my TV, and I would just be playing Psychonauts really loudly in my room, or I would be playing Halo really loud in my room, and I wouldn't have to listen to them shouting at each other anymore. And so it's always been the thing that's been there for me. Like when I lived in Maine, I constantly played Half-Life 2. I constantly played Half-Life 2 because I was so sad that I just needed something. I just needed something to deal with the feeling. And I got lost in the world of that game. It was so much fun that like I was there, you know? I wasn't in the physical world anymore. I wasn't paying attention to any of my problems. It was like I was there. And the same thing happened when I first played Skyrim. Like when Skyrim came out, when it first came out, I was depressed constantly at that time. But I played that game for like 8 or 9 hours a day because it felt like I was in Skyrim. It felt like I was in that world, you know? I have an ideal world where in the afterlife we have our isolated world and it looks like a Discord server kinda. It's comfy where we can relax and consume infinite media from infinite worlds. That would be nice. Yeah, that's kind of my ideal world as well. For eternity and be observers, and our bodies are comfy spirits, free from our heavy bodies. I completely agree. Just jack your brain into eternal euphoria. Skip the binging. Um, I mean, I don't know. The weird thing for me with that is that like they have that thing in the Matrix where they have, take the blue pill where everything is great. And you don't have to feel any suffering or anything like that, or you can take the red pill where you see reality and you might suffer more. I've always been in favor of just taking the red pill because I guess the truth matters to me more than feeling completely happy all the time, you know? XY says, I'll catch you later, gotta read this book. Alright, have fun. When I was in high school, I honestly spent most of the time reading Discords or playing Hearthstone while half listening to the classes because a lot of them were really slow and monotonous to me. Um, yeah, I mean, that's probably just because you're smart. How did you play? Could you play Hearthstone on the phone? Huh, weird. Yeah, I don't really like reading Discords. I'm only in, yeah, two servers, so I don't really like reading Discord very much. I like IRC more. IRC is easier because you don't have profile pictures and it's just the text. I like just having the text on screen. Like you have the person's name and then you have the text because the IRC client that I use is IRSI. It's IRSSI, and it's basically just you load it up in your terminal. And when you load it up in your terminal, you can, connect to Ryzon or whichever server you're in, and then you can connect to your channel. And it basically looks like MS-DOS. It's just white text on a black screen, and it's much easier to use. At best, I'd try to occupy your time with something more during class while paying attention so that your mind feels enough stimulation, like you could bring in puzzles or Sudoku or something, or choose to doodle while paying attention uh, so that you can do something intellectually entertaining while sitting in class. But truth is relative. I mean, I don't really know enough about that topic. I'm not a very philosophically inclined person, so I don't really know enough about I don't really know enough about like physics or philosophy to make any big like grandstanding claims about it. Um, let's see here. Yeah, I the thing with me is that I'm stuck in this computer room basically. Um, so I have to work on the computer the whole time. There's not even like a teacher lecturing anybody. You just have 14 assignments you do on the computer each day, every single day, just 14 assignments on the computer. It's IRC is so slow, barely anyone posts. Yeah, that's why I like having IRCs with friends, is that if you have friends, it's more reliable. Oh shit. Oh, I accidentally pressed the wrong button. I meant to hold the button down. Tired just like me. Yeah, I'm starting to feel a little bit less tired because I'm streaming, but it's been hard. It's been hard to stay awake. I don't know what it is. Like I was saying earlier, it's the PS2 is somehow the best console, but it had the worst graphics out of that generation. Like like the Dreamcast came out in 1999, and you can use a VGA cable, which has a lot of games go up to 720p. Like I have a VGA cable hooked up to this monitor that I used to play the Dreamcast. I was playing Soul Calibur the other day, and it looked basically like like a later Xbox game. And like the Xbox had really good graphics on some of the games. Like I don't know, it looked almost like an Xbox 360 game if you squinted hard enough because it went up to 720p. Like I don't understand how Sony just stream keeps doing this. Uh let's see here. Test. Okay. It's working now. I like the principal idea of what philosophy is, but every time I try to read a philosophical text, I feel like I'm eating granite. Like philosophical literature just feels so removed from the lexicon of everyday writing. Yeah, I just have to look up the words of what they're saying, but I kind of like the fact that I have to look up the words because it feels like the writing is super specific, like they're trying really hard to convey a very specific point, and so they have to be very precise with the type of language that they use. That's why I like reading it. But even though I have read a lot of philosophical stuff, I just don't know anything about philosophy the way that other people do. Um, so maybe I'll be able to make concrete statements about it when I'm older. Like I've been reading The Science of Logic by Hegel recently, and reading that book, it's just BTFO'd me so hard because it made me realize just how little I understand. Let's see here. A long time ago, I had a farmer friend that said comics and manga and animation is a waste of paper, and we should save paper for quote unquote important stuff like homework and schoolwork and office work. Disgusting. Yeah, I had a former friend. Okay, he's trying to go green. Um, yeah, that's weird. Um, I really don't think, first of all, I don't think homework is super important. Like, we don't really have to have homework. Like Finland, in Finland, they don't even have homework, and they have the best education system in the world, and they have no homework. So, we don't even have to have homework. We just do. Um, he said media and entertainment is useless. I mean, has he seriously never watched a movie that he learned something from? Like when I was younger, like I would watch a lot of Sesame Street, and the things that I learned from Sesame Street, I still have not forgotten. Like there are lessons that I got, even like morals in like I don't know, like SpongeBob or something. Like the episode Band Geeks, like that episode, it doesn't seem like it, but it taught me a lot about friendship at the time. Let's see here. Like specifically people who obsess over different ethical models like utilitarian or dentology or anti-realism versus realism feels like such an abject waste of time. Like I don't understand the practical utility of this stuff. Yeah, neither do I. Man Chronicle said oof politics, but then he deleted his message. Hmm. I don't even discuss politics anymore, to be honest. It just feels so useless. Like it doesn't feel like there's even a reason to talk about it. Like if someone asks me, even if someone asks me a political opinion nowadays, I might give like a short answer, but I don't even like answering questions about that stuff anymore. Because I have opinions on it in the back of my mind, but at the same time, I don't even like talking about it because it feels like such a waste of time, you know? Like, what am I gonna do anything? What is Star going to do to affect the political narrative by sitting in his room and playing a fucking video game, you know? Politics talk is boring and repetitive now anyway. I agree. I lived through Band Geeks as an actual musician in high school. It was a nearly prophetic narrative. Wow. Um, I've never heard that sentiment before. Probably because I don't read SpongeBob discussion online like I used to. I used to be like hardcore into reading stuff about SpongeBob all the time. I had categorized all these different details about each episode, and I categorized like little theories and stuff I had about the show. It was weird. Everything is meaningless. We can give certain things personal meaning. Yeah. Yeah, it feels like there's just not much of a point. Like the reason I do stuff like this is just because it's fun. Like I'm not sitting here trying to become like a big YouTuber who's going to, I don't know, go to Granada or something and feed young kids. Like I do these things because I'm bored. You know, I do these things because I'm bored and I want to have fun doing something, you know. Um, let's see here. Um, Sometimes I even think about why it is that we try to end suffering anyway. We'll all die anyway. Well, in my opinion, the reason we try to end suffering is because we don't live in the grand scheme of things. We live right now. And so, like, because we don't live in the grand scheme of things, our decision making isn't going to be made based on what's going to happen 50 years from now. Our decision is going to be made based on, you know, what we can do to materially affect the lives of people, you know, right now. So that's why, like, for the longest time, I argued for, like, ending pollution and stuff, because a lot of people get cancer from the pollutants. And I mean, part of it is, yeah, we have to have a world in the next 100 years or something like that. But the other part is that it does affect people right now. And you know, for the longest time, I didn't want those effects to happen to me or to anybody else. But just talking about it isn't going to do anything. Voting isn't going to really do anything. So I like politics, but much like you, Star, for the most part, my answers are pretty short. My thing is that I have very long-winded answers. Like I've actually written a lot of political stuff, especially on the Shonen Ronin channel. Like I've written some stuff there. I've written some stuff just in private, and I enjoy writing those things, but it feels just like masturbation. Like it doesn't feel like it's actually meant to improve anybody's life. It just feels like it's something I enjoy writing about. So I don't even try to talk about it anymore. I just try to keep it in writing, you know? Um, let's see here. Join my isolated afterlife world. I will be in the admin of the server. I mean world, I mean God, just like a Discord server. I really hate Discord. I only use the only reason I joined back Discord was because you made that video, Red. You made that video where you said you were lonely, and you had said that like Twisted tried to kill himself or whatever, and you had said that that you didn't you know Gummy wasn't responding to your messages and stuff. So the reason I actually joined back Discord, I think I actually did it like a week after that video came out, but. The reason I joined back Discord was specifically just to talk to you because I didn't want you to be lonely. Um, and then I convened with a few other of my friends who I still wanted to talk to. But my hard and fast rule is to never have more than 10 friends. Never have more than 10 friends. That's always my rule. Because I just can't stand having more people than that. That's the thing. Um, but I probably wouldn't have even joined back Discord um, when I did without Red making that video. Because I had joined back after like 2.5 weeks. Yeah, after 2.5 weeks of not being on Discord, I made a new account and then I joined back. But I I doubt I would have done it that quickly if not for the video that he made. Let's see here. What's the chat saying now? I wish society was structured out of a pleasure for people to have fun rather than work for the sake of work that seems to permeate all aspects of society. Yeah, like I wish the kind of work that people did focused on what they enjoyed. Like I know there have been countries in history that well one of the big examples doesn't really exist anymore, but what you used to do was that you could choose your profession in high school. And so if say you wanted to be an artist, you know, you didn't have to be a starving artist. You could you know, you could choose that profession in high school and then go to college for it. And then, you know, you had to be in an artist union or something, but you know, you were able to be fed while doing your art. And so there have been countries like that that have existed in history. But you know, it feels like most of the world now, it's you don't choose a job because you want to do it. You choose a job because you have to eat. And even then, like, so many people are unemployed, like, involuntarily just because they don't have access to jobs. Or they're unemployed because all the jobs they have are like back-breaking labor that they barely get paid anything to do, you know? Hmm. I love this specific court because Jet Grind Radio was such a good game. Let's see here. Sometimes I think I'm meant to suffer, something I did in a past life. I've never had that thought before, oddly enough, even though I've had I've had like dips into religion and spirituality. Like I've tried really hard to be religious in the past because I thought it would help with depression. But it didn't really work. Like I couldn't really buy into the whole religious thing. I've tried really hard to so many times. Um, but that seems more like a kind of like spiritual idea. I don't know why I'm just unable to get into spirituality of any kind, like or just any kind of spiritual belief. Like I can't really believe in past lives or or a higher power or anything like this. It just doesn't work for me, no matter how hard I try. Try shrooms. One of these days. Just kidding. Yeah, for the views and opinions expressed by the live chat do not necessarily are not necessarily endorsed by Man Chronicles, even if he says them. That's basically a really complicated way of saying it was just a meme, bro. Ugh. The one thing I really don't like about this whole life is suffering stuff I see online is that it feels like this idea came down from the Christian ethos. Like, to me, life is neutral. Like, sometimes life is terrible and sometimes life is great. I don't really get this idea that life is great. Um, I mean, I've had, I guess, great feelings in the past. Not who the hell is messaging me? Okay, let's get this out of here. I've had great feelings in the past where I was like, hey, you know, living life is nice. Um, Keyword sometimes, but I've never felt like life itself is great. I either feel that it's bad or neutral. It's sometimes like I've had great feelings, but I didn't automatically think that life itself was great. The comfy life is best life. I agree. Psychedelics have vastly improved my life and made my life so much more fun. Um, yeah, I'm glad you're able to I'm glad you're able to find something that works for you. I think you could do a lot of good, Star. You seemed pretty hard on yourself earlier. I don't really remember what did I seem hard on myself about. Like I don't think I was too I don't think I was trying to be too critical. I can't really I'm not really sure what you mean. Let's see here. I just want peace. Yeah, I agree. That's kind of my ideal as well as I like the idea of just living peacefully. Hmm. No, I mean in that moment when you're experiencing joy or purpose or whatever, life is great. I mean, I guess some people feel that way, but to me, like when I have a really great feeling, I just go, "Oh, it's a great feeling." It doesn't really change my view on how life is fundamentally, because I know it's impermanent. Like, it's not something that lasts forever. You just feel that way that day. But it's also important to keep that into perspective that, like, you know, the longer you're alive, you're going to feel those feelings again. They aren't gone forever. It's just, you know, you just have to wait it out. Like the mantra that I always use is that you have to stay alive because as long as you're alive, there's always potential for growth. You know, there's always a chance. There's always a chance for things to get better. So you have to stay on the earth because, you know, if you don't stay on earth, then things won't get better. You've basically admitted defeat at that point. And so, um, all these people wanting peace and happiness, I just want my foreskin back. I refuse. What is this meme? What is this meme that like having foreskin changes anything? Like most of the science that I've read says that having a foreskin does not even like change the sexual stimulation very much at all. It literally just gives you more stuff to clean. That's the only thing. Let's see, what's going on here in the chat? Like when you're suffering and feeling shit, it's also impermanent. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, is that that's also impermanent too. It's just that I think having a foreskin makes it easier for you to experience sexual pleasure. I maybe you're reading different stuff than I have, but I've read quite a few studies because there were people in my chat who were saying the same thing, and I also knew an annoying girl, a really annoying girl who would like constantly like talk shit about Jewish people, who said that having getting rid of foreskin was like evil, and I agree that making a child take it away involuntarily might be morally questionable if they themselves want to keep it, because you're kind of forcing them to do something they don't necessarily want to do. um, Foreskin leaves you open to more diseases and shit. Yeah, I was just about to get to that. Is that is that in general, like the studies that I've read, and maybe you've read different stuff, have all concluded that having a foreskin does not change sexual pleasure in any way at all. So that seems like a widespread myth. Imagine caring so much about your dick. I agree. I don't know why people care so much about it. Like maybe it's because maybe it's just because I don't really have a high sex drive. Like I don't really think about it very much. I don't care. I don't watch porn, for instance. Um so maybe when I look at it, I just find it weird. Like there's probably some people out there who are like the aesthetic of my dick must be ideal or something. Like that's probably what they're thinking about. Um I need peace, but also to stimulate my mind constantly. In my opinion, or MMOs are peaceful but too mindless for me. Which MMOs have you played? Because I know you were playing World of Warcraft recently, and you were playing the new version of World of Warcraft. You have to play the what was it, version 5? It's like the early 2000s versions of World of Warcraft you can get on you can get on private servers. The old versions of WoW are much better from what I've read, at least. I don't know. I'm going off of Wizard Chan posters here, so don't get on my back if I'm saying something wrong. But from what I've read, the original World of Warcraft was much better than the new version. Um, let's see here. It was a joke. Oh, okay. See in the chat quotes, the aesthetic of my dick must be ideal. Oh boy. Kill monster by clicking it, level up, repeat, X, okay, a bunch of numbers. I just Googled it, and yeah, it might be a myth about the circumcision thing. See? I don't understand why these things about sex get so widespread. Like, I've heard so much weird sexual stuff, and maybe it comes out of like schoolyards or something. Like when I was in school, the only thing people knew how to talk about was just sex, like all the time. It's so much so that I didn't even care about sex, but I had to pretend like I did just to fit in. It was like the only joke that people knew how to make. And when I was in school, it was weird because people would like press on my shoulder like in gym and go, "Oh, look at her ass, bro. Look at her ass, dude." And I just got really uncomfortable. Like I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to have to look at this. I didn't want to be pressured into looking at this by a bunch of fucking random people who I didn't even know. And I had to deal with this. Look at her ass, bro. It was weird, man. I don't I don't like normies because of stuff like that. Like they just expect everyone they interact with to be sociable. Like everyone they interact with just wants to socialize and just wants to be a normie like them. I'm not like that. And there's a lot of people like who aren't like that. But they try to force you into their normie mindset. um, I'm in this weird zone where I watch a good amount of porn, but can't bother to care about details related to sex, nor do I think sex is anything particularly special. I think maybe a lot of people are like that, is that like for them it's just a I feel like I've made the chat think my sexual life is gayer and more sexual than it is. Probably. I mean, when there's like one gay person in the chat, maybe people just gang up on them because of social hierarchy, Darwinian stuff. I'm not sure. Sex is gay. I agree. But yeah. So yeah, I think a lot of people think the way that you do, insane idiot, because they see it as just like something that they have to do just for their body, just to retain, just to retain like the normal status quo for their body, like what it needs to output or whatever. Um, I don't know, like I used to think it was really gross. Like I used to think it was the most disgusting thing ever, but now I don't really have that reaction anymore. Like I don't look at it and go, this is disgusting. I just look at it and feel indifferent. Like I don't want to look at it. On a logical level, I know it's disgusting, but I don't look at it and be disgusted the way that I used to, you know? Like I had like a physical reaction, like get this stuff away from me. But now I just look at it and go, whatever, you know? Let's see here. Well, that and plus it can be fun to masturbate. Why would it be fun? I don't. Why would it be at all fun? I don't get that. I want to get rid of my sex drive somehow. I don't really have much of one personally. I know there's. I remember reading that there's medications that you can take to completely get rid of it. Um, they give them to like pedophiles in therapy and stuff. I forget what they're called. I think they start with an A. Um, how can you talk and play video games at the same time? I've done a lot of practice at it. I mean, this video game isn't particularly distracting. It's just you hit a ball around a bunch of times. But I started making Let's Plays. That was the first thing I did on YouTube was that in 2013 I made a YouTube channel where I made Minecraft videos, and it was is it the PS2? Yeah, this is the PS2. Um, I started making Minecraft videos. That was the first thing I did on YouTube. And that was in 2013, which next year, in 2020, it will be the 7th anniversary of my first YouTube channel. So, and I don't talk much about my first YouTube channel just because all those videos are gone now. But yeah, I made Minecraft videos and just other kind of Let's Plays. I started in 2015. I started this YouTube channel that I'm currently on in 2015. It was like the beginning of 2015 too. It was February. So, um, in February of 2020, it will be the 5th anniversary of the YouTube channel you're currently watching. I started this YouTube channel like 10 months ago. Yeah, I remember that. I remember when you made the Hikino videos of you just playing random computer games. You posted them in HikiFag's server at the time. Let's see here. Porn is actually disgusting. I genuinely don't understand why people watch it. It is really gross. Like the things that go into how it was made, the kind of systemic manipulation of the actors that are involved, and the chronic poverty that led them there. The fact that the sex that they're having isn't actually like natural sex. It's like this commodified, like extreme version of it that's not normal. The way it's shot and filmed, just about everything about it is disgusting. Well, like in the moment, I don't know. My brain just perceives it as fun. I can't explain how my brain works. That's probably just dopamine. Like that's just a natural reaction people have. I don't have that. Okay. All right, Samba de Amigo, don't fail me now. Come on, boy. Woo! This one's for all the marbles. If she gets it through my goal this time, I'm gonna end up having to restart the tournament. See, I hate it when she transforms like this because you never know where exactly the ball is going to end up. And the other thing too is that when she transforms like that and you hit the ball into her side of the court, it becomes a point for her. So you have to be careful to, make her hit the ball, and it's annoying. Oh my fucking god. Okay. Mm, match point. Okay, she got another point. No! The set match, I'm done. She killed me right there. Oh boy. See, this is a sad de amigo. Not Samba de amigo anymore. He's sad de amigo. Hmm. This game's so much fun. I could play this game forever. Even though it's weird because this game only has like five. I think it only has like five different. Oh my God, that was a fucking pathetic. That was a pathetic pitch right there. Uh, let's see. What's with you getting wrecked by Foids? Keck, just kidding. Um, yeah. By the way, this is random, but Star, have you read Hunter S. Thompson? I think I might have a copy of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I've seen the movie, but I think I have a copy of that book somewhere. I don't really keep track. I think I've read. There's like a book that he made when he was running for mayor. I might have read. I don't remember. The book is better. I don't really remember much of the movie except the fact that it had Johnny Depp in it, and there's a part where he trips on acid or something. Um, I have it on Blu-ray. I could put it in my computer if I wanted to, but oh man, do you guys remember when Blu-ray was first coming out? I remember that. I remember when the PS3 first came out. I watched it on E3. I watched it on E3 on G4, the G4 network, the only video game TV channel that they had at the time that also for some reason it was the only game channel, but it constantly reran episodes of Cops. And so in between watching episodes of Cops that would be reran, they would have like X Play and they would run the E3 conferences for the different console manufacturers at the time. Um, and so I liked watching G4, but I remember watching the E3 conference for when the PS3 was coming out, and everyone was like excited about Blu-ray. They thought Blu-ray was going to be the best thing, it was going to be the big thing, and only Sony had it because Sony made this Blu-ray stuff, and I mean it was true at the time, but now Blu-ray has become such a staple of what people use that it's kind of it's kind of redundant at this point. Uh, this looks like when you paired with the special kid in ping pong and couldn't bear to teach him the rules, so you and him just slammed the ping pong ball as hard as you could across the gym. Wow. What the fuck is Blu-ray? Blu-ray is a proprietary disc format like DVDs. So if you know what DVDs are, they're these discs that hold movies on them. They can hold video games on them depending on what console it is. DVDs, proprietary disc format. Um, and with Blu-rays, Blu-rays were basically just a upgraded HD version of DVDs, where like DVDs don't really hold HD films most of the time. What Blu-ray was at the time was that it could hold 50 gigabytes, where a normal DVD, if you had a dual layer DVD, it could hold 7 gigabytes. If you had a standard DVD, I think it could hold like 3 or 4. But that was as high as it could go. They didn't really hold HD at the time. Now there was HD DVDs, which Microsoft came out with, and HD DVDs did not last very long. Those that was not a successful format. It basically failed. But Blu-ray dominated it because the PS3 had Blu-ray in it. And so what was exciting about Blu-ray is that it could hold more features, it could hold longer movies, and it was in 1080p. Whereas DVD was just in standard definition. You got the 480p, but it didn't really go up to 720 because the files would be too big. Um, so yeah, that was the big difference. That was what was hype about it. Um, let's see. Basically, success ruined Thompson because he didn't have the time to pressure to actually complete work for money. In my opinion, Hunter X Thompson is really entertaining to read. The weird trap he fell into, though, is because he basically became a character narrator over time after he became popular. Yeah, I haven't read his. I might have read his books. I don't really remember much from anything. There's what was it, Kingdom of Fear? I don't remember very much about Hunter S. Thompson other than he had like a cool prose style. Um, oh boy. Hunter X Thompson, the greatest anime from the creator of. I was gonna make a Yu Yu Hakusho joke, but I couldn't think of anything. Oh god, fucking normal fags. Do you? Mm, let's see here. Fucking normal fags, man. Hmm? There's also a Transmetropolitan that's a comic book set in the future where the main character is based off Hunter S. Thompson. But I haven't read it yet, but it looks cool. I don't really read most comic books. I don't like the modern look of comics where they're done digitally. I don't like the digital art that comics tend to use. Um, I love like digital art in general. Like there's a lot of digital art that's really good, but for some reason the way that most people who make comic books specifically tend to do digital art in America, I really hate. Like there's a Marvel look. Like the Marvel look is something that I cannot stand. Um, and DC by and large does the same thing too. The comic book ran from 1997 to 2002, like it's all online now. I tend to buy physical comics. I don't read them online just because it takes the part of it. I like connecting or not connecting, collecting. I like collecting the books, having them physically, having the sense that that you're getting something in a collection, that you're like progressing on the path of owning a full set of something. That's fun. Um, but I like. My name is Ethan, and I'm currently doing a poop, a YouTube poop. Do your parents think you're talking to the TV? I mean, they know what I do. They know that I do these videos and stuff because I make money from them. Um, I'm in the bathroom, buddy. Oh, okay. Uh, you got a second controller friend. Uh, no one currently. Star falling for capitalist consumerism once again. I mean, the thing is that like it doesn't matter what kind of society you live in. There's always going to be art. There's always going to be people who want to buy art and own it physically just because it feels good to own physical things. I think when it becomes consumerism is when you're substituting happiness and fulfilling things for just buying more things. Um, but people generally like owning physical stuff because you can touch it in your hands and it feels natural. I told my mom about my YouTube channel a few months ago. Well, how did it go? Let's see. Marvel Comics and even Marvel movies have been the same shit for me recycled. I always like DC Comics more. I think DC Comics tend to be better. Ethan has 1.1k subs. What the fuck? Whoa. Star has more. Yeah, I do have more subs. Um, let's see here. What was I gonna say? Uh, and then Admiral or not Admiral, Red has like 3.6k. You actually make money off of 100 view videos. Wow. Um, yeah, I make what was it, $100 a month on Patreon? Okay, for some reason it cut out again. But yeah, I make a hundred a month on Patreon, and then I tend to make if the month goes well, I tend to make about 100 on ad revenue, but not always. Sometimes I have to wait like 2 months, but it's because I have certain videos that get a whole bunch of views, whereas my other videos don't always get a whole bunch of views. And plus, I put a lot of ad breaks in my videos. If you make like a 20-minute video and you put a bunch of ad breaks in it, then that's going to accumulate over time. Um, Transmetropolitan is a DC comic. Okay. Um, she thought my voice sounded nice, but that's how moms are. I like your voice, DZ Dog. There are 10 volumes in the whole series. Okay. Um, yeah, no, I like I don't really like a lot of the stuff Dark Horse is putting out now, but Dark Horse used to be pretty cool. To this day, the best like superhero-esque thing or superhero-esque comic is Spawn. Spawn is the best one. Um, everything. What was it? Todd McFarlane. Everything he does is great. Um, but Spawn is my favorite one. I wish I got to read more of them. I want to collect all of the Spawn comics. Like even like the more modern Spawn art looks really good. Um, I like the HBO show. Have you guys seen the HBO Spawn show that was like 6 episodes? That is one of the best pieces of animation I've seen. Mm. My mom keeps pestering me because she wants to see my YouTube channel, but I refuse to ever show her. Yeah, just don't let her see it. Why did you tell her that you had one? That's my question. No, if you show her a video, you gotta show her the poor fag tried to kill me video. This guy threatened to kill me over $12. That's one of my favorite videos on YouTube. I love that video. I love Tails. He's such a cool character. I used to like drawing Sonic characters, which is kind of strange because you look at the Sonic fandom on the internet and it's like, okay, yeah, that's not a Tails doll creepypasta was awesome. I basically don't know any creepypastas because it was always teenage girls in my school who cared about creepypastas, and so because there were so many teenage girls who liked it, I never wanted to look at it because they always said, "Oh yeah, creepypasta's so cool, man." And I was like, that immediately off put me from ever looking at any kind of creepypasta. Especially because a lot of them were like emo as well. Star the Sonic fag confirmed. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much am. I mean, I think Sonic's way better than Mario. I like most of the games. Star the Hedgehog, Red the Hedgehog, Twisted the Hedgehog. I think Star the Hedgehog works better. But yeah, I I don't associate with the Sonic fandom, but I'm essentially a part of it. Like by all like traditional definitions, you could say I'm basically a part of it. I like a lot of the fan works. Design a Sonic OC. Oh no, I like most of the games. I actually enjoy most of the games. Where like even Sonic 06 to an extent I enjoy. Where like everyone hates that game, and to this day, like I've been defending it for so long. To this day, I still defend it. Store the Hedgehog, yes. Um, but no, I like Sonic Generations. It was one of the more recent games. That one's really good. I want to play Sonic Unleashed. I have Sonic Unleashed coming in the mail that I want to play soon. Hmm. I know Sonic is great. It's one of my favorite game franchises. Have you watched the Sonic real-time fan dub? That's something that I've wanted to do for a little while. I like watching these videos by this guy, who is it, Roger Van Wielder, where he makes these like 40-minute analyses of Sonic forever. And he's so good. I'm a head out because I really got to do homework. All right, good luck with that. I've been defending Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 against my better judge it. Uh, what is that sound? Let's see here. But yeah, so what was I? Oh yeah, door slam, something something CIA. It's every time. Every time there's an interruption on the stream, it's always the CIA. It's like the Epstein truthers. It's basically just that for my videos. Um, let's see, what was I gonna say? Uh, Yeah, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 are both great games. I've played those games for like hours on end. I think it was one of the Tails stages that I got I'm an infinite outlaw truther. Oh no. It's going to begin. What is that? Blood splats on TV. Silence. It's like the I was gonna say it's like the final moments of Joker, but I didn't want to spoil too much. That movie was so good. But let's see. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I think it was one of the Knuckles stages that I got stuck on for the longest time because on the Knuckles stages you're just searching for stuff. Like I think those are probably the most boring parts in the game because you're just searching endlessly. I know why infinite is in your name, but why outlaw? Outlaw was just the first thing that I picked online. Besides, well, no, it was, well, that technically not the first thing I picked online because I had Game Room in my name for a long time, back when I was used to make video game videos. But when I rebranded the channel like completely, I picked Outlaw just because I felt like an outlaw in society, you know? You used to have that blonde mascot character. I did. It was drawn by this guy called Munchie. Is that I was a big fan of this podcast called the Procrastinators Podcast, and so I paid this guy called Munchie to draw me a character for my YouTube channel, and so I had a blonde character as my avatar, and he had a Dreamcast logo on his T-shirt because I specifically specified that's what I wanted. Um, and oh man, that was 3 years ago now. I paid him like $10 at the time to draw it. I had to message him on Twitter and stuff. I didn't even have a Twitter. I was like seven. I was like seven or oh fuck. I was like 6 or 7 whenever Shadow the Hedgehog came out, and I actually really liked it. I haven't played Shadow the Hedgehog, but I think I would love the game. I used to be obsessed with watching all of the cutscenes on YouTube when I was much younger. It was when my brother still lived with us, so let's see. He was let me do math here. 1995. He was like so he got kicked out at 16, so he would have been 15. So, okay, let's do 10 years. 2010. So it was like 2010 at the time. I would watch these compilations of Sonic, Shadow the Hedgehog on YouTube. So I watched these Shadow the Hedgehog cutscene compilations. Um, and I just did that all the time, even though I didn't own the game. I still don't own the game. I want to get a copy of it, but I would only get a copy of it if it were on GameCube, because I'm very particular about that. If there's a multi-platform game from that generation, I will always get it on the GameCube. If there's a GameCube version. If there's not a GameCube version, I'll get it on the PS2. Tails doll connected to Sonic R. The game No Thank You speedruns all the time. He plays that game constantly. I don't know how he plays it so much. Um, but yeah, I like Sonic R. I've only played it on the computer though. I want to get it on Sega Saturn because I own a Sega Saturn. I just don't own any games for it. Can't play this Sonic tennis game with Star. TFW. Yeah, I mean it would be fun. It would be fun to do a to do a Sonic tennis let's play with Red. No, that's why we have to Red and Star meet IRL. The best vlogs would be made. It would be like it would be like the poor fag, or no, it would be like the who was the guy who threatened to beat you up IRL? There was a guy. It wasn't the guy who tried to kill you. It was a different guy. The guy on Reddit. Um, yeah, it would be like that video, except I would be threatening to beat you in Sonic. No, not Johnny Alphaseed. It was a different guy. Net play, bro. I don't think this is one of the games that still works online. Because there's a list if you use Xlink Kai, which is basically it's basically proprietary software that allows you to play PS2 games online in 2019, but there's only like 100, there's only like 100 games that you can do that with, and it's all the games that worked with there's a it's called LAN. Yeah, LAN. So with LAN, basically what it is that you can connect multiple PS2s together and then play the game multiplayer that way. But what Xlink Kai did was that they tapped into the LAN functionality of the PS2 and basically made it to where you could play LAN over the internet instead of having multiple consoles hooked up to one another. And so you can technically still play PS2 games online to this day. You just have to go through Xlink Kai. But there's only like 100 games that do that. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. That Reddit guy was so unimportant I can't remember his name. Yeah, I mean I can't remember anything, but it was a funny video title you made. That's why I was trying to reference it. But yeah. But he said he wanted to fight you IRL. I would just basically be doing that, but with this tennis game. I play this game for so many hours, even though there's only like five. There's like five stages in the game, and I play it for so many hours of time, or as the Europeans would say, so many metrics of time. Hmm. I don't really like Europeans. They're very pretentious people. Not all of them, obviously, but like talking to Europeans is hard for me because they have such a pretentious air about them. They don't tend to be very nice. It's like they have this mindset where they're like, "Oh, our people and our country are so much better than yours and everything we think must be correct." It's kind of annoying talking to Europeans, to be honest. Like I like them. I don't hate all of them. It's just that I've had so many bad experiences talking to Europeans. It's like they look down on us, you know? Hmm. Especially British people. I don't know what their deal is. Like, British people have a specific kind of meanness to them that's hard to pinpoint. Might be cultural barriers, I have no idea. Uh, let's see what's going on in the chat. So loud, man. Every day. I accidentally just pulled the console forward with my incompetence. Ugh. Poor fag tries to kill me. Man, I'm waiting for the day that Johnny Alphaseed threatens to kill me. I'm just waiting for it, man. It's gonna happen one of these days. Yeah, I'm gonna move the camera right here so I can more easily talk into it. I need to get a better I need to get a better tripod because I bought this like little fucking GorillaPod knockoff from China, and it's like one of the worst tripods that I've ever used because it just constantly breaks down. Like the support system that it has are clearly not made to support a phone that has this much weight, so it just always falls down. But the thing is that it was advertised to work with this phone. It was just a lie, you know? See, most of my videos, when I used to make reviews of video games, I would either record the screen, or what I would do is I would rip footage off of other people's YouTube channels, as an example. Because I have an Elgato game capture card, I just don't have a computer that can run with it. So every time I want to stream games off a console, I have to film the screen. And I didn't used to be comfortable doing that when I started, like when I made ever since I made the shift in the brand of my channel, it kind of like felt juvenile to record video games with the screen just on your phone, because that's what I did when I started out. But when I started watching No Thank You streams, and when I noticed how like he just didn't give a fuck, like he would just take out his laptop and use the laptop webcam to record his TV screen while he was playing a game, it kind of gave me confidence, you know, to just make whatever kind of stream I wanted to. And I had a similar feeling with hiding in my room. When hiding in my room would like post these videos with like 3 minutes of just random footage of him walking around in Osaka or wherever, it gave me a lot of confidence in my own videos where like I enjoyed just having random footage being spliced into his videos. So I thought maybe I could do that with my own. And so I started taking more time of just like stopping and smelling the roses where you don't have to say words every single minute of the video. You know, you don't have to have them be these like professional masterpieces. You can make entertaining videos and not, you know, and not have them be like this product, you know? Um, in 2018 and 2019, I only watched your videos sometimes, didn't sub or follow until mid 2019. Yeah, Star, you're too hard on yourself. I used to be too hard on myself. Nowadays, I don't really care what kind of video it is. Um, I haven't been hard on myself for a while now, where I used to care a lot more about like video quality and stuff. Now I just do what's fun. I like making videos for fun. It's not about, you know, making the most 10 out of 10 masterpiece or whatever. It's about making what you enjoy. That's kind of the point of it, you know? Oh, oh no, she's doing this thing. Yeah, it is about being comfy, is that like part of making something that's comfy means making something that feels genuine, you know, making something that like is true to yourself and is just having a conversation with the people. Like what I really like about your videos, Red, is that it doesn't feel like you're recording a video. Like it feels like you're just having a conversation with your friends or your audience, where it feels relaxed. Like you don't need like a hard and fast topic, like anything you have to analyze or be philosophical about. It just feels like you're just talking, you know? And sometimes you're like laying on a bench or some shit like that, and you're just talking to the camera. I love stuff like that. I love just videos of people hanging out, just videos of them, you know, like recording themselves like towing dirt in their Korean family's yard in upstate New York or something. Like that shit is comfy. Um, so I think comfy videos above all else are the best. I love videos that have that feeling where like you can just like meld into your couch, like you're laying in the couch and it becomes like you're a part of it, you know? I like Red's videos because I like listening to people's problems. I do too. I like hearing people explain their thought processes and sometimes, you know, sometimes having videos that are like overtly depressing or videos that are, you know, just them sharing what their experience is, even to the point of like tears where it's like you're getting a direct raw feeling from this person. It's human. You know, and on YouTube, when we're constantly starved for content that's genuine or real, it feels good to just get like the most raw expression of someone's emotions, like what you get in like Red's videos. Like when he made the Why I Hate Chads and Chad Worshippers video, like he got so emotional in that video that like you couldn't help but feel that like this is a real guy, you know? This isn't a guy who's just making videos to make money or to get whores or anything like that, you know? He's making them because this is who he is, you know, and he's sharing the most raw sense of it, you know. Um, well, that's why he's one of my favorite YouTubers, and I try to make videos like that as well. Is that I've never liked like the corporatized version of YouTube, where you know everyone is out for themselves and they're just trying to make a product. I've liked being an archive. You know, when I was 15 years old, I recorded this video called Being an Archive, where it was like 20 minutes long, and it's basically just like a manifesto about the kind of videos that I love the most, which are, you know, stuff like hiding in my room, stuff like old Digibro videos, not the current shit. You know, stuff like what I'm trying to do, stuff like what Red does, you know, stuff like what No Thank You has done a lot of times, you know, stuff like Eggy, you know, Eggman, this kind of thing. Um, and watch that video Being an Archive if you want a better understanding of my mindset when it comes to YouTube, because I think Eggy was funny. Yeah, no, I love Eggy. He's the Black Pill King. Honestly, whenever I watch Eggy, it makes me it makes me feel more black pilled each time I watch him. The Digibro decompression chamber where he went over his experiences with suicide was comfy. It was really comfy. It was one of the most comfy videos. Got fired from Walmart at the world. Based. Very, very based. Star is my favorite YouTuber. Went from BitBlock to Daniel Lord to now Star. Thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate that there are those of you who really like my videos as much as you, especially Red, because I respect Red's videos a lot. Molly Bloom says, "Hey, what's up? Not much. Just playing some video games here." Um, I also like how I'm like the only live stream who Red watches. Like he somehow like my live streams are the only thing he'll watch, and so I think it's really cool. I've had a couple people tell me that I'm the only live streamer who they'll watch. The BitBlock is a Nintendo YouTuber I used to watch from 2015 to 2018. I think I remember you mentioning him in a video, or maybe on Discord. Like I remember you mentioning him somewhere. I found you and Red like 4 days ago, enjoying it. Thank you. How did you find our channels? Oh shit! I only watch yours and Digi streams. I only watch Digi streams sometimes. Most of them are. I want to start making videos like you and Red, to be honest. Maybe one day. Yeah, don't be worried about their quality. Don't be worried about if they're bad or anything. Just make them because you enjoy them. Make them because you have something you want to share. Friend found it and sent it to me. Don't know where he found it. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad there are more people who are sharing this stuff. The BitBlock told me to kill myself in a live stream in 2016. Lol. That based. I mentioned, or he mentioned it in the Animal Crossing video. Oh, okay. He's got a couple Animal Crossing videos. Yeah, I'm glad there are people who are sharing our stuff. It's nice. You can just private them if you hate them. Improvement will happen with time, at ye. Yeah, exactly. Like, if you go back through my videos, like, even the most early videos, I was so nervous, and they were really bad, but I put them out anyway just because I wanted to make something. And even if they're terrible, like, just keep practicing and you'll make something good. Are you getting DMs by fangirls that are attracted to you? I don't have my Discord public anymore. Ever since I made a ever since I made a new Discord, I have not made it public just because I don't want normies to find my Discord anymore. I refuse to have more than 10 friends. That's my mantra is that when it's more than 10, it's way too much. I can only ever have 10 internet friends. I can't have more than that. Um, and so I don't have my Discord public just because that would be too many people. Um, and it was weird because I left Discord for about 2.5 weeks. I did not talk to anyone on the internet for 2.5 weeks, not too long ago. And I do that pretty regularly. Like, I'll just have random hiatuses from Discord just because I won't want to talk to anybody. And, a couple weeks and then I'll come back. But, I don't have my account public anymore just because I don't want all the normies to find me again. I've gotten DMs from, quote unquote e-girls before who were interested in having a relationship with me, but I don't want to have a relationship with them just because I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in relationships or romanticism or sex or anything like this. Those things just don't interest me. So, um, I've pretty much universally declined whenever I've gotten people like that. No e-girls, no e-girls. Yeah, exactly. Um, like I always tell the story of the Korean girl who tried to get with me on Discord, and I found her really boring, and I just ghosted her. Oh boy, that was one of my favorite stories to tell. DMs from girls are almost always bots in my experience. Well, the reason why they weren't bots in mine was just because I was a public figure. That's lucky. I wouldn't say I'm obsessed with women in general, but I've got mega hard one. I don't know what that word means. One-itis? I don't know what that word is. I probably heard it on R9K before, to be honest. I was reading R9K just this morning. Hmm. So many cool reaction pictures you can get from R9K. That at one time that was like my home on the internet was 4chan R9K. Maybe 8chan R9K as well. They don't really have it on 8kun now. Would you recommend being a YouTuber if you want to get girls? I mean, it depends on what kind of videos you make. It depends on how, I'm extremely fixated over one girl. That doesn't sound fun. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. But, yeah, I mean, if you make videos that get popular, I guess it sounds like an easier alternative. It sounds like an easier alternative than meeting them personally. Like the only reason I have friends is because I made YouTube videos. I do not know how to make friends any other way. I just don't. Like the only way I've known how to make friends is by making videos. And so I've always just met all of my friends through here. So if you don't know how to, I guess making videos would be a good way. I mean, I've gotten several DMs from people seeking relationships with me, um, and I pretty much unilaterally turn them down just because I'm not interested. So if you establish a personal enough relationship with your audience, then you'll be able to then you'll be able to get something eventually, I'm sure. Let me look here. Get a mentally GF into regret and all romantic desire is a true combo in my opinion. Um, into regret any and into regret any and all romantic desire is I don't really know what that means. A Let's Player used to watch and meet his wife from being a YouTuber. Um, I mean, it is possible. Mentally ill GF is fucking awesome. That doesn't seem awesome to me. That seems like more effort than it's worth. Fuck women. I agree. Seems weird to want a relationship without getting to know someone. Do they really just go star please be BF? Yes. That is literally like that's literally how it goes, is that the perception that they get from my videos is like they know me, but I don't know them. Like they know all of these things about me, and I know jack shit about them, so it's weird. But that's literally what they do. Like that's their entire livelihood, is that they try to find a beta orbiter, and when they find a beta orbiter who can, provide them with affection, with money, or with any kind of attention, then once they've secured that person who they think is at least moderately attractive, they can use the beta orbiter to, receive attention and money or anything else that they would want. And it's that's how, excuse me, that's how. Oh boy, I don't want to try and getting into explaining these dynamics, but it's just kind of depressing. Like DZD in the chat says femcells are the worst. Exactly. Like there's this sense of desperation that's just really depressing, where I don't know, man. It's just weird to me. They want a beta orbiter. That's is that they find, like, look at me, like I'm not a particularly hot item, and yet there are these people online who would find, oh yes, Star will be the person who will give me attention. I've watched their videos, they must be great, like it's weird. It's just weird. Beta orbiter slash provider, yeah. um it like when you have someone who they see as like a potential candidate to become a beta provider, that's the point where it's done. I could have only ended being a beta orbiter, but I would have actively avoided that my entire life. Makes sense. Female YouTubers wouldn't date their fans, but males do it all the time. Well, it's because female YouTubers have a better place in the sexual marketplace. Where, like, the fact that the fact that they're women at all means that they can get a relationship like that, like with a snap of a finger. They can do it immediately because men, the way that men are conditioned by society are that Never Leave My Room can't be a beta orbiter worked out well for Mumkey Jones. It did work out pretty well for Mumkey Jones, except it turned out that she was insane. So I don't know about that. That's the other problem. Yeah, it's fucking depressing. It is pretty depressing. Like I've been trying to explain this to people recently, is that, like, they don't understand. Women have it way easier. All they have to do is go to a bar and then pull up their skirt or something, and then it's right there. They can just get sex right away. It's with men, it's so much more difficult. Waiting for full dive VRGF. I don't want one. I mean anime waifu. Makes sense. But don't become a beta provider, guys. If if you find someone, find true love. Look for true love if that's what you want. Look for true love. Do not become a beta provider. I mean, I'm personally not. I'm not very much of a romantic person, but even I will tell you that having true love is better. True love doesn't exist, dude. I mean, there are people out there who experience it. It's just that it's rare. It's very, very rare. And it's usually older people who have their shit together. But I would define it as when two people have good enough chemistry with one another that they want to spend their lives together, where there's loyalty. And that's a really rare scenario. That's why so many normies are like, I wish I could find the one. That's what they always say. I wish I could find the one. And it's just because it's such a hard thing to find for people that there's very, very few that exist who want that. Or there's a lot of people who want that. It's just very few that will work with you. Only good love is Full Dive Future VR. But I think it's because a lot of normies are just very shallow. Like they don't want to be shallow. They want relationships that aren't shallow. It's just that they fall into shallow behavior patterns because of external desires like I must have sex now and this kind of stuff. 50% divorce rate in 8 out of 10 relationships is modernity, poor normies. Yeah. That's the point I'm making is that like people get divorced so often that usually the reason they get with people isn't because there's a sense of true love there. It's just because they want to have sex or they feel like a relationship is going to work out. Um, but it's the times in which people find the spark that really works is so rare that for a lot of people, they end up just getting with people who they can't stand. Like, I've seen these relationships play out IRL before. I've seen, the in-game simulation come out in reality where the love just fades away. Yeah, no, that's it's like what Red is saying is that like it ends up fading away in a lot of cases with people where they just end up forcing one another to stay together because they have kids or because they want a long-term relationship. So it isn't based on love anymore. It's just based on what they have to do to survive. I don't think it always fades away when you're older. I think there's very rare cases in which people just are meant to be together. Like I've talked to these people IRL before. I know they exist. It's just a rare thing. Um, there are people who Foids have no soul. It's not that like all women have no soul inherently. It's just that society conditions people to be very shallow. True love doesn't actually exist. I mean I've seen it. The thing is you can't change what you see in reality. It's right there. It's just extremely rare. It's so rare that it almost never happens. But it has existed or else people wouldn't make the concept up. It wouldn't be such a prevalent thing. How does it go against human nature? Do you have evidence for that? Star, what do you mean by being or not being shallow? I'm talking about just general like patterns of dishonesty or putting on airs and things like that. But how does it go against human nature? If something has existed, then it's part of human nature. You can't say that something that has existed in the past isn't human nature because it's right in front of you. Just because something is rare doesn't mean it's less natural. The fact that it exists means it is natural. Fairy tales don't exist. I mean, but you're not giving me evidence. You're not giving me a reason why. What I'm saying is, and I'm giving anecdotal evidence. I could probably cite a study or I could find like something to disprove what you're saying. I am giving anecdotal evidence, so I apologize for that. But I've seen older couples who do genuinely love each other and are yeah, and are just sticking together. It's happened. It has happened. It's just very rare. I mean, if you could provide evidence for what you're saying, I would appreciate seeing it, but I've never seen it. Maybe we've just seen different people. Like I said, it is very rare, but I've only seen like two instances. I've seen couples that stick together too. All I've seen is toxicity. Yeah, that's probably why you feel that way. Like the reason I feel the way I feel is because I've seen it personally. I've seen it work out. It's just very rare. But the majority of people are pretty shallow. Saw my mom at a young age, told myself I would never get married. Yeah, no, I felt the same way with like my parents' marriages that it went so wrong that I just thought I would never put myself through this. No, I relate. It's like what I said in my why I'll never get married video is that for most people, the vast majority, it just fades away. While watching this stream, I got a knock on the front door that I ignored. I heard a guy say, "Hey, it's your neighbor," and later, "Are you scared of white people? Have a racist day, man." Wow. uh, that sounds like California to me. Um, I've seen good and bad relationships. Getting into one is almost like playing the lottery. That's a good point. It is basically playing the lottery. That's one reason why I won't do it is because I think it's a waste of time. It's like how likely it's like a 1 in 1,000 chance that you'll win the lottery, you know? As soon as a woman think they can do better, they will leave you. As soon as I mean, yeah, that's basically everybody is that most people once they think they'll do better is that they just leave because they think they have a better option. You know, there's no loyalty. There's no loyalty in a lot of relationships. Like I've seen this many, many times where you know, and I've experienced this personally too when I was in a relationship. This person who I was with saw someone who was better, and they just left. You know, the after like you know several months of me helping them all the time with their problems, making sure that they were doing okay emotionally, and trying to be as good of a friend or partner as I was, they just left because they found someone who they thought was more attractive or made them feel more emotions, you know. And it isn't just like with people my age. I've seen this happen with adults many times too. Like my neighbor, for instance. You know, she's had flings with so many different guys that she has like multiple kids with different husbands, you know. Um, Happens all the time. It's good until it fades. Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it's good in general just because I don't get the romantic feelings, so I don't think it's good at all. One woman has essentially totally fucked up my view on women and relationships. I know that feel. But steer, it gives you a chance to dream. Yeah, it's that's the mindset, you know. No matter what you do, women are incapable of loving you if someone better exists. It's pretty much true with almost everybody is that most people they don't have the loyalty. Star, I'm not good at IRL arguments, so don't argue with me if we ever meet IRL. I need time to think when in debates. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's interesting as the body count goes up, so does divorce. The divorce rate with someone who is pure is only like 4%. Makes sense. Ugh, normies are so shallow, man. There's only like there's so few good normies. That's the thing is that like the rarity with people who have true love, who are loyal or you know, who actually want to have good relationships, who are actually nice people is so small. Good male normies exist. Star is very emotional inside, but he pretends like he doesn't. Do you have evidence for that? I mean, could you give me an example? Hmm. Hmm. Uh, there are some people who develop like victim complexes. There is no such thing as a good female star. I mean, where are these claims coming from? All you've said is that you've never met one. I mean, I've met some. Like, I don't. It seems I don't know, man. It seems like to me you've just had all bad experiences. I've had very few good experiences, but I've had some. So I don't understand. It just seems like you're going off of really bad experiences to me. No, most of them, I don't like most of them either. I don't like most people. No, I agree with Red there. There are no good women. Don't worry, Star. You were a good guy after all. I guess I appreciate the compliment. Hmm. Hmm. I don't understand the people who like worship like the female mindset. Like there's a huge contingent of people who are like males who they aren't like transgender or anything like that who just worship the ground that women walk on where they feel that they're more pure, they're more wholesome than anybody else. And it's almost condescending in a way. Like they view them as like these little kids that have to be protected because they're so pure. And I don't think they realize that these women are just normies like everybody else. They have the same evil, the same same sadistic tendencies that all of the other normies have. It's weird to me that even my mom was a slut in her youth. They all had their days. Men and women are not the same. In what way? I don't understand. How are they not the same? Star just wants to make sense in life, and because a lot of things don't make sense, he finds sense in itself. Men are loyal. What's wrong with being a slut? I don't quite understand. If someone wants to have sex, that's their choice. They should be allowed. Well, okay, I'll give an example. So there's this YouTuber called Todd Grande. There's this YouTuber called Todd Grande, where he's a psychiatrist. He does these videos on psychology and psychiatry and stuff, and he was talking about patterns of abuse. And one of the things that he had talked about was that in while he was treating people, there was this woman who kept coming back to his office, who was basically with this guy who was constantly cheating on her and was doing drugs and stuff. And they stayed together for like 30 years. They actually stayed together until he died. Was he would constantly like hit her and constantly use more drugs. And like she actually was forced into allowing him to have multiple girlfriends. So she literally like got forced into the situation where he would leave if he was not allowed to have multiple girlfriends. So he basically manipulated her into going along with all of this stuff that she was clearly not comfortable with, just because she loved this guy. Just because she loved this guy, she stuck through the worst, most horrendous stuff that she could be put through, in order to stay with him. So it is an anecdotal point, but like I think the psychiatrist is a good enough source where like he seems like an honest YouTuber. So it doesn't. She loved being treated like shit. Well, that's a psychological condition in and of itself, though, where like you can hate the experience, but it's not that you love the experience, it's that you get forced into being stuck with it. There's Stockholm syndrome is what it's called, is that you get stuck in the cycle of abuse because you don't like it, you're just forced into it, you know? If he became a good guy, she will get bored or leave and cheat. Men and I don't. But where's the evidence for any of these things that you're saying? You don't have evidence for any of this, man. I. But let me see. What was I saying? So, but I've seen this like multiple times. Like when I let me give another example. Let me give another example. Is that when I had lived in a domestic abuse shelter at one point, and I would talk sometimes to the people who were in the domestic abuse shelter, the battered women who were there, and they clearly did not want to be battered. They didn't enjoy it. They did not like the fact that they were getting, beaten by their husbands. But I would talk to them, and they would talk about how they would stay with their husband for like years, like over a. I don't write pretentious articles, but I have experience. I'm giving you experience right now. So, they would talk about how they had stayed with their husband for like years after dealing with all of this abuse, how terrible it was for them, how much they did not like it, clearly did not like it. Their kids would talk about having the same experiences, but they stayed with them because at one point they did love them and they wanted to be loyal to the person who they were with. They wanted them to get help, but they would continually refuse. And so the only thing they felt like they could do, which is they thought it was the right thing to do, was to continue letting themselves get hurt out of loyalty for the person who they once loved. These are real people who I spoke to at this shelter, you know? Like this warped view that somehow, the entire female gender is just off limits. They're all just horrible people is a fiction. It's not based on anything real, because I can give examples. I can give time and time again examples of people who clearly go against the metric of what you're talking about. Um, and I don't know. It just seems like you're going off all bad experiences that you've had without actually listening to the experiences of other people. It doesn't seem like a fair argument to make at all. Uh, let's see here. Also, they have a word for people who only go off of bad experiences. I don't remember what it is, but there's a word for that if like you only believe the bad experiences. I can't remember it though. I am probably the only normie who would join this channel because I want to learn about hikikomori, but I find that this channel is more than that. A random guy naturally talking about how he sees the world and going into deep social things and giving points about political science. Thank you. Um, Evening Star says Bryce Vickery. Evening to you as well. I think that fiction comes from people who don't know how to act natural around women. I don't want to make assumptions about how other people feel. Um, that could be part of it, but I don't know. Just because women had bad experiences doesn't make them good people. Um, I mean, in order to answer something like that, you would have to define what a good person is, but let's see here. If someone interacted with me regularly and I saw no negative or value or vulnerable aspects of him 100% of the time, I probably think that they had ulterior motives to be kind to me or were simply impossible. Interesting. Um, let's see here. What's right about being a slut? I mean, there's not anything right about it either. The fiction of girls liking guys who treat them badly. Um, Yeah, I mean there are some people who are actually like that. There are some guys who are actually like that. Um, I just wish Red would give actual evidence for any of the stuff he's saying. Like I give like in-depth examples for all of these things, and he just, oh, women are bad, dude. Women are bad. And like he and I don't even disagree that much. It's like we both hate normies. And I mean, I even go as far as saying that, like, there are more worse women than there are worse men, in my opinion. But, like, I don't know. I don't like this, like, singling out, like, the entire gender. The entire gender is just fucked, you know? The only reason why I follow you is because you are natural and I see that you're trying to keep it that way. Star is natural. Even if it's disrespectful, I prefer naturally. Thank you. Um, uh, But I mean, it's possible. It's possible for. Would you prefer it if you narrowed it down to all women in my town are awful? Yeah, I mean that would make more sense because like there are people who have genuinely good experiences with them. Like I've had very few, but I have had genuinely good experiences where the women have been kind, good people, you know. Especially because gender is a spectrum, how can we say that all women are like this? I don't think gender is a spectrum. The fact that there are female scientists, philosophers, monks, etc., show that generalizing them all doesn't really make a lot of sense in my opinion. I think it's a lot of bad stuff is cultural. I agree. Like the reason why people are the way they are isn't because of some like inherent biological biological imprint. It's because of the experiences they've had in their life, because of the society around them. Like the fact that there are female scientists, female monks, and so on, um, would not mean that all of them are just like manipulative, evil people. Like it was what was it, Sir Appleton? Is that his name? Yeah, Sir Appleton in the chat was saying is that like all women are evil people. Well, what would a monk do? You know, if a monk was just isolated in their cave forever, you know, they're not harming anyone. And so if they're not harming anyone, then how would someone like that be evil? You know, they're just by themselves. There's tons of people like that. Like there are people of both genders who don't do any harm to anyone, you know? Never heard of a female monk. Does that even exist? Yes, that does exist. It's Google it, dude. I am studying in university now, and believe me, more of the women there, they don't want to study. They are there because they are looking for wealthy men. And I like that's a societal thing though. That's a cultural thing is that it's not because they're inherently like that. It's because the culture around them forces them to be that way. When I say all women, I don't literally mean individual person of a group. It's easier than saying almost every. Okay, that's fair. No, that makes sense. Um, I don't blame you for having that opinion because it's pretty similar to my own opinion. Um, I think red means like actually all of them though. That's why I was bringing it up. No, sometimes I generalize too. Like sometimes I generalize on this issue just because it's easier to do. Hmm. I think in general people are selfish by nature, which we can confuse with shallowness. Well, there's a difference between just because they're individuals doesn't mean that groups behave certain ways super predictably. Normies is a generalization here most of us probably share. Yeah, no, exactly. Um, the culture forced them. Really, Star, I am not a victim of society and I won't accept victimization. Well, it like okay, so I need to explain this is that I do believe that choices of some kind of exist. I don't really believe in choice fully, but they kind of exist because there are multiple outcomes that exist in that are possible to exist, but pretty much everything that happens is because of conditions. It's because of the society around you. It's not like everything has a cause and effect. So because everything has a cause and effect, we can't say that everything we do is just a product of our own choice because all of it has a root cause. We can point back to like even the smallest, even down to like the smallest little bits. Like we could say, okay, I don't know, I was forced to be around a lot of chairs as a kid or something, so I really like chairs, and now I'm a chair maker, and I like you can go down to even the smallest little individual elements, and you can find out why someone is the way that they are. Um, it's not victimization. Like, victimization is refusing to improve yourself. It's just stating why something happened. Like, there's a difference between a motive and an excuse. A motive is why something occurred, an excuse is keeping yourself from changing because that thing occurred. It's very, very different. So I don't think you understand what I mean. I'm not trying to excuse anyone, I'm just trying to explain why the things happen. And I'm saying that if you change the conditions that surround them, you can change the people. Is culture informed by the nature of individuals, though? Um, could you elaborate on exactly what you mean by that? Do you just mean like biological imperatives? I mean, biology plays a part in it, but of course, if you had a GF, you would think she is the best and this special rare unicorn, but the reality is she is like others. You can't ignore biology facts, don't care about your feelings. I mean, I'm giving you facts. You have not given me. In fact, you said that you don't like pretentious articles, which is basically all research or studies done into this stuff. So it's if you can't give me facts to back up how you feel, then I'm giving more examples than you are. I'm actually backing up the claims that I make, man. So I'm not mad or anything. I'm just confused. I'm very confused. Like you haven't given me one piece of biological evidence to prove what you're saying. Um, no, there was an article I read recently on how, like, most of the stuff we know about Darwinian evolution is actually wrong, because they have this saying of survival of the fittest, and survival of the fittest has almost unilaterally been debunked by like most scientists, sociologists, etc. Um, because what tends to produce people or their reactions to things and their behaviors are what people need to do to survive at that time. But human beings can create tools. We can create the world surrounding us. So the conditions that existed in like caves, for instance, aren't the same conditions that exist now, and so people's behaviors correspond to the society that they live in, not some like inherent biological factors. Biologicals do play a part. It's not the whole thing. I am responsible for myself, not for others but myself. It's just virtue signaling, though. I am backing up my claims too. With what? You're just saying stuff. Let's see here. Are you citing Ben Shapiro? Every normie who has a GF he currently has good relations with will think she's different and a special unicorn. Well, that's why I gave the example of older couples, is that there are some older couples who do genuinely love each other and who just stay there, you know? Um, I spent years with one woman who backstabbed me and ruined my life. That's proof. Um, I mean, oh boy. This is the way that women think because sometimes they think and they will think this way. Why I will stay with this guy when I can have something better. Um, I mean, men think the same way a lot of the time. I don't, I don't understand. Star, you're only 17. I had 4 GFs and many female friends. Well, I would tell you that there are people who are much older than 17 who agree with my opinion completely. In fact, the vast majority of biologists, of sociologists, and sexologists would tell you in thousands of words that I am correct. You may have like a few like incel studies that you can find that like kind of support your point, but I'm working with people who are far older than me, have far more wisdom, and have studied these things for hundreds of years, man. I don't. You can't say, oh, you're only 17 and I've had 4 GFs, so I know exactly what it's like. Um, Darwinism is starting to be proven right. I'm telling you, just Google the shit, man. If you just Google, if you just Google any like criticism of Darwinism, there have been tons and tons of researchers that have come out and said that survival of the fittest is literally wrong. Everybody chill until appeal to authority by age walks up. I mean, it's an ad hominem argument, is that like saying that, oh, you're young, so you can't have an argument. That's literally ad hominem. That's the definition of ad hominem. Is by saying, oh, you're just dumb, or you're just you're just a kid, so you can't have this opinion, you know? Pure experiences versus feminist scientists. But what? Uh, I okay. Again, that's a straw man. You're literally making a straw man because I did not say feminists agree with what I'm saying. I said that sociologists agree with what I'm saying. Um, so it I'm not citing feminists here. Uh, it's literally a straw man. I'm just saying the vast majority of people who work in professional fields who have the experience that you're talking about, decades and decades of experience as well as research, agree with what I'm saying. Oh boy. By the way, dude, don't worry. No hard feelings. I know you do this with no thank you all the time and other friends. Yeah, no, I know you don't have any hard feelings. I'm just very confused. It's kind of baffling. Um, Debating if women are evil or not. Fallacies are largely retarded, and relying on fallacies is a bad thing to do. I agree. Experience is anecdote, the worst form of evidence. Yeah, I agree. You can't give experience as a way of proving your point. Um, uh, Survival of the fittest doesn't always mean brutality either. Mutual aid behavior and other eusocial insects, for examples, where mutual aid equals altruism towards those who will cooperate and hostility towards those who are predatory. Yeah, exactly. Like there is a biological evidence that proves that mutual aid has existed throughout history and does exist. So um, like again, like Pyotr Kropotkin, like he broke through a lot of the wrong-headed Darwinian ideas that are there. And it isn't just Pyotr Kropotkin. I mean, he was massively influential, but like most contemporary research will tell you that Darwinian ideas are just wrong. Um, let's see here. But yeah, experience is an anecdote. It is not evidence. Hopefully, your scientific evidence will be proven wrong too in the far future. Um, I mean, I don't particularly know how. This stuff has been being researched for hundreds of years, man. Ugh. Like when I said Pyotr Kropotkin, that dude was writing about this shit in the 1800s, in like what was it, 1836 or something, and then people ended up expanding on it, hundreds of years later. I don't know what you want from me. Is evidence and proof not just experience written down, though? So when we talk about uh, like peer-reviewed studies, where they've gone through like the biological factors, where they've like deeply researched what these behavior patterns are and how the brain works and so on. That is not the same as saying my girlfriend broke up with me, therefore women are evil, or I had four girlfriends that broke up with me, therefore they're evil, or backstabbed me or something. That's not the same as like, you know, decades and decades of peer-reviewed studies that they have a control group or a active observation of these things. It's not really the same thing. So is alpha beta male dichotomy real? It's kind of just a meme. It's just a funny meme. I've always suspected that it's kind of pseudoscience, but I don't know. Yeah, it's basically is. It's just a meme. Oh. Uh, oh no, I'm fighting against Sama de Amigo now. It's not even real with wolves. Yeah, where it came from. Hmm. Hmm. How often do you stream? This is comfy. I don't stream as much as I used to. I used to stream like almost every day. I haven't had as much time to stream because I've gone to school. The guy who published the first behavioral study on wolves regarding betas and alphas spent the rest of his career denouncing his first study to no success. Interesting. I didn't know that. But to be honest, it exists in some form, like it's undeniable. Um, uh, is it true for wild apes, though? I don't know enough about that. Beta and alpha is just too powerful as a meme. Makes sense. I'm playing really badly here. Seconded on Comfy Stream. Thank you. Uh, I wish I had like more information on hand to like debunk MGTOW shit because I don't have these arguments very often because most of the time it just doesn't come up. I used to have like a bunch of stuff on hand to go against those kind of arguments. MGTOW is based, get right. I mean, I like the kind of isolation aspects of going your own way. I like the celibate aspects of going your own way. Um, Volcel hours, I agree. No, I like the general like critique of like, for example, like how many suicides like men have in the workplace. I think a lot of the time that's a very strong argument. It's not an argument against women. It's an argument against the economic system, you know. It's like watching someone like Coltane. Like Coltane is he's a wise man once said, "My age. I'm not MGTOW. I'm just hopelessly chained to an evil bitch forever." Um, that seems like something like you might want to talk to like a mental health professional about though. I never understood why MGTOW are so obsessed with talking shit about women. If you're going to go your own way, just do it and don't bitch about women constantly. I agree. No, I like the general idea of going your own way. Like, there's this YouTuber called Thinking Ape, that I like watching his videos. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says, but he's an interesting guy. He has a good voice. I used to watch this guy called Coltane, was a MGTOW YouTuber. He put a lot of effort and research into his videos. Um, let's see, mental health professionals are fraudsters. They've never helped me. Um, yeah, I've had a lot of bad experiences with them too. Um, I I think there are some who like eventually if you find the right one, you'll have a better experience. It's about finding the right one. You just have to try really hard and for some people that's just not worth it. I wish it would be easier. I don't like how they can detain you for being suicidal. Yes, I'm aware they should only do it if you have plans or a means. However, I fundamentally believe everyone owns their life. I agree. Where is your evidence? I don't really know what that's in response to. Um, they create Star. Why do you think our society values so much being socially active? What is there to gain from that? Well, if we trace back, if you go back far enough, is that people survived from being in social groups. So if you were in a group of people, you tend to survive much easier from being in a group of people because now you have like a unit that you can work with to hunt or gather food, or build communities and farm. You usually need multiple people to do these things. And so people just naturally have an inclination, oftentimes at least, to be with others because they they did so to survive for so long. However, we live in a world now where people have adapted to being alone because we don't really need other people to survive anymore. We're kind of like superhumans now in a way. Um, let's see. Do. I found that mental health people can help me if my issues are caused by me. If they're environmental, and somewhat out of my control, like poverty, they can't really help, which is frustrating. Like therapy can only help me react to people cussing at me for walking in the suburbs, not stop the people from doing that. React more healthily. Star, how do you keep the conversation so interesting what seems like 24/7? It's mostly because people are posting in the chat and I can respond to what people are posting in the chat. But I appreciate that you think it's interesting. You can get any woman easy. I don't understand that thing about trying hard. Um, I mean, I don't think it's easy. I don't really think it's easy to interact with most people. So it's in hunter-gatherer societies, people were completely reliant on other people, and that mindset is stuck ever since. Yeah, what Sir Appleton said. I don't think getting in relationships is easy at all. Then again, I don't want to get into one, so maybe that helps. Uh, hmm, let's see here. It's easy if you're good looking, maybe. That's a good point. You also have to have a personality that works well with theirs. Not a good personality, just one that they find attractive. Maybe like the women who you got with were easy, but the reason they were easy was because they were shallow. Hmm. Like I said, I don't understand this guy talking about how hard it is to get women. Hmm. But maybe like the reason why it's easier for you is because like you do look attractive. Um like you do look like an attractive guy, Red, so maybe it's easy for you to just get the very shallow people. Where is your evidence, Star? I'm just giving you opinions here. I'm not making a biological argument or anything. I'm just giving you my opinion here. Link me 10,000 scientific articles. I mean, again, that's another straw man that you're making there. Is I never said for anyone to give 10,000 psychological articles. I just said to say something more than I had these bad experiences, and so my experience means it's true for everyone. It's not really the same thing. And you could link like two, or not even link anything. You could just say, "Oh, I read this thing that says that says women have this biological imperative," and I could disagree with it, but it would at least be an example, you know. Um, I'm not really asking for anyone to cite an entire book or anything, you know. Exactly, we're talking about experience. This is why experience is power, not if you've had bad experiences that color your perception of what reality is. Because some people, let's take for example, the shoe was on the other foot with you, and you thought all men were evil. Have you ever, okay, Red, have you ever talked to someone who believes that all men are evil? I have. I literally have spoken to these people, and they're that the reason they feel this way is because they've just had bad experiences with men, and so they believe all men are evil, right? That they've had bad experiences, and those bad experiences end up making them feel that way, and so they're afraid, and that fear manifests themselves into being who they are now, right? Um, Chronica in the chat says all men are evil. Uh, I would be inclined to disagree, but I see what she's doing here. Women love evil men, dude. Well, that's a broad generalization. I think people like people who treat them well, but they can, for example, like Freud. Freud talked a lot about. Let's see, that's a difference. Can confirm I'm evil. I like the based Chad um, in the chat. What was I gonna say? Look at that Riz girl and how she backstabbed you after you were nice to her. I mean, that's because she was a mentally unstable schizophrenic who, like, her family, like, literally abuses her, dude. Like, I can see why she did that, and I'm not angry at her. I'm still not angry at her to this day. All women are mentally unstable lesbians. Like, it doesn't really matter how many times she tries to fuck me over or pull my name through the mud. She's just a kid. She's just a mentally ill kid, man. There's no reason to be angry over stuff like that. I wish I had a mentally ill GF whose family abused her. Jeez. Based Connor. Um, I don't care if women like are evil or bad, or if they don't give me what I want and fast I just ignore them. I don't really know what that means. But God damn it, there was a point I was gonna make. Uh, the chat goes so fast, it's hard for me to remember. Um, let's see here. Okay, so what Red was saying was, why is it with outcasted guys being obsessed with mentally ill GFs? It's because they're easy. It's very easy to get someone who has those problems. I never actually had experience with romance. I know friends can betray and ghost you. Protective instincts. That might be it. Why the fuck did I have a mentally ill GF too? Well, my first one was like that. Manic Pixie Dream Girl. Uh, no, I like to try and help people with their shit. Um, God damn it, there was something I was gonna say. Uh, uh, fuck, there was a concept, I can't remember what it was. I can't remember anything anymore. Why the fuck am I arguing with people when I can't remember anything? I used to be able to do this so much better, man. I remember when my memory was so good that I could pinpoint evidence for every single thing I was gonna say. I can't remember shit anymore. Like I try to make points about stuff and it's so hard because it's like every single day my memory just gets worse. God damn it, man. And I used to go in servers. I used to go in servers, and I had like all this shit I had memorized from all these books that I had read. I could give you economic statistics off the top of my head about everything. I always won, and like I can't remember anything anymore. You know, it's always it's I don't know, man. It's really hard. Feels bad. Can't even get a mentally ill GF. I tried. I don't care now. Maybe you were too hot. The beast you don't have them because you don't want them. Old man star. uh, let's see here. Any idea why your memory is like this, Star? I watched some of your memory video during breakfast. I couldn't finish it. It was because I took medications. I took medications in the mental hospital the second time I went there, and so I when I took those medications, they messed up my memory for life, basically. Um, if you stop trying to remember it, it will ironically come back. It's called backwards law. That's only happened to me a few times. I forget so much that like I can't remember most things anymore. Like entire sections of my life have just beeped off the face of the earth. And I used to have like a near photographic memory. Like it was so good. It was so good. Um, no, I didn't go to the mental hospital in Las Vegas. I went there in well, the first one I went there in Tennessee and then the other one I went to in Maine, but like those meds like literally destroyed my memory, you know. Mm, this is depressing. I didn't mean for it to be depressing. Connor, like Star says, you think we are like that because you have good experiences with us. What did Connor say? Let me read. Go back. Um, I didn't get to see what he said. Top Keg, thanks Star for saying I'm good looking. That's nice of you, friend. Yeah, no problem. You are good looking. No Star video tonight, TFW. SSRIs? No, SSRIs don't destroy your memory forever. It was sedatives. I just can't fucking remember what the sedative was, and it was there was an antipsychotic thing that they gave me too, and I can't remember what that was. And it's just it depresses me. I don't know. How long ago did this happen? Maybe you'll recover if you're off bad meds long enough. Sorry for asking depressing questions in this chat. It was a year ago. I think it was actually more than a year ago at this point. So it and it's only gotten worse as I've gotten older. Like it was particularly bad at the time, but as I've gotten older, it's actually gotten worse. And so I don't know. It uh, might just be like this forever. I don't know. 27 people watching this, ironically. But this is why I've basically given up having opinions on things. Like I'll say it right now. Maybe Red is completely right. Like Red might be like completely right about everything he's saying. Like the entire chat could be right against what I'm saying. Maybe all of us are right. Maybe none of us have the answer. That might be it. I couldn't remember a reason why. I wouldn't be able to tell you because the moment that I would find an argument to, you know, to back up anything I'm saying, I would forget it the moment after. So it's everyone could be right potentially. There's like I would not be able to quantify anything I'm saying to you anymore because I've just forgotten so much, you know? And so there's no point. There's no point to me trying to structure any of these things to you anymore because like I the only way I can know anything that I'm saying is if I write it down. And if I write it down, you know, what if there's a separate argument that I could have made against what I wrote down from reading one thing that I just couldn't remember because I couldn't have the frame of reference? How much am I supposed to write down? How much it, you know? Stop talking about these whores already. Oh my God, Ree. Yeah, they're still going in the chat. Wow, I hadn't even read. Maybe you can reverse the effects by playing Brain Age on Nintendo DS. I've tried I've actually tried doing stuff like that. Oh God. Star, you can use Discord to keep notes. I write stuff down. I like writing stuff down. I keep notes on my computer and shit. God damn it. Maybe this is what old people feel like what like they start saying, oh, when I was younger I was so good at this, and I I just get the things that the old people feel too early, man. Probably freaking out my family too, fucking shouting about this memory bullshit. I always ask this question to every man who complains about why? Why are they still not watching ironically, engaging sincerely? Thank you. What video game is this? I actually have the box right here. Is that, well, you can't see it. It's Sonic or it's Sega Superstars Tennis. That's what it is. But from another room, women aren't evil. I can't remember anything. Oh boy. Poor mommy Star. She doesn't live with me anymore. She hasn't lived with me for like months. That's why I have to pay so many of the bills around here with fucking Patreon money, is that she hasn't been here to pay so many of the bills. So I have to use my money to pay this stuff. And so I wish she lived here so I wouldn't have to fucking use so much of my own money just to keep the lights on, but you know. God. Did you make it in time? Did I make what in time? I was trying to make the Hikikomori board on 8kun before Hikifag does it, lol. Yeah, I hope he brings it back. What about your father? I mean, he has a job. He just doesn't have enough money to pay for everything. Um, let's see here. Your hair is nice, thank you. I appreciate it. Is 8kun up? I was 404ing the other night. It was up last time I checked. They seem to be having errors on the website. Like, I went on A today because A is my favorite board. I went on A and a lot of the images, a lot of the pictures just weren't working. And I tried it with multiple browsers, and it seems like a lot of the pictures aren't loading for some reason. It's up, but the CAPTCHA didn't work last I checked. Why does your mother not live with you if you can talk about that? That's a long fucking story. I'm surprised you don't know about this if you've been on my channel this long. Jeez. Uh, it's a long story. I mean, my mom and dad have had an off and on relationship essentially my entire life, always leaving each other. And there's a lot of problems there, and they've been trying to get divorced for the last like 6 years or something like that, like 7. It's been a long ass time. It was funny. What my parents used to tell me when I was little, what they used to tell me was that I was the reason why they were getting divorced, and that I was a terrible kid because I had caused their divorce. I get told that all the time. I was like 9 years old, and they still haven't gotten divorced yet. I was so sad. I was so sad at the time. I was like waiting for them to get divorced so they would stop telling me it was my fault. Oh boy. You can talk about that star so we can learn about it. I mean, I don't know what there is to say. They just didn't work very well together. What a day. It's the greatest live stream I've ever done. But I didn't know she was not living with you. She hasn't lived with us in a while. My mom used to beat me with a stick when I was a kid and kicked me downstairs. Yeah, no, my mom did to me too. One thing that she did to me was that she would hold me down. She would hold me down and pull my hair out and hit me with shoes until I would bleed. Um, and when she would we would have to eat when I was younger. And when she would get her money, she would always get into one of her moods and spend all of her money. And so we wouldn't be able to eat at times. We were already poor enough, you know. I lived like below the poverty line for most of my life, but she would always spend all the money when she would get it because she would get in one of her moods. She would decide, oh, maybe God's telling me to spend my money today. I don't know. Guess I can say I'm thankful I've never been poor. I've been poor, yeah, pretty much my whole life. Like, the reason I have this stuff I have here is just because I got money from YouTube. I wouldn't be able to have this stuff. I wouldn't be able to have this stuff if I didn't have money from YouTube. Or gifts from my aunt, because she actually has money. She's had to bail us out so many times. We have tens of thousands of dollars in debt with my aunt because she keeps bailing us out whenever anything goes wrong. Star, do you think you won't like to have a son because you're traumatized and see a child, you just see yourself as a child? Based aunt. I agree. My aunt is very based. She's a good person. She even like when my family, you know, be like terrible to her, she always helped us. Um and like she didn't even gain anything from it. She just helped us because we were her family, you know? Um Seconded based aunt. Star doesn't want to get married to my knowledge. Yeah, no, I don't want to get married just because too much of a hassle. I don't really like interacting with people. But I tried to ask her. I tried to ask her why she kept helping us when she had visited earlier this year, and she just started crying and she told me that she wished there was more that she could do. And I gave her a hug and told her that she didn't have to do any more. It's thousands and thousands of dollars in debt just from helping us, man. I wish I could pay her back. I've been considering going to an anime convention November 15th for vlog content, but I don't know, crowds scare me. Wear that mask you've got. Yeah, that might help. I had the chance to go to to Japan, but I'm too scared. Um, I mean, if you're afraid, if you're afraid, it might be better to it might be better to try and take smaller steps. Like, okay, this week I'll try and not interact with people, but just be around people a little bit more, or maybe like I'll drive a car or something. Like, take smaller steps and then try and move your way up to the big thing. That worked for me when I used to anxiety. And sometimes people need a bigger push. It just depends on who you are, though. Starlets make you famous. I don't know how I would be able to get famous. I don't, my content's very niche. I don't really make the, oh my god, I'm just doing terribly at this game today, aren't I? Star can drive, what a Chad. I actually can't drive. I made a video called Why I'll Never Learn to Drive. I like this small stream where Star reads every comment. Even if I had a big stream, I would read all the comments. Um, Very niche content with a neat. I like that. That's fun. I wish I were still a neat. It used to be so much better. You seem to be able to talk in quality for a long period of time. This the thing messed up again. Yeah, it's back. No, I appreciate I appreciate that you think I can do it quality. I I I think I've been doing worse because I can't remember the topics the way that I used to. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just because I have a big chat that I can respond to what everybody says. And a lot of it is stuff that I've thought about before, so maybe that makes it easier. Um, my dad is a businessman and an investor. Uh, that's yeah, nice. How does how does it go? Should I? I think I should pick a different character. I return to character select. What characters he can help you? I don't think I appreciate the offer, but I really don't think there's anything that my content can star. You don't have to answer this question if you don't want to, but what is your view on race, social construct, or not? Um, I don't want to get into another big argument. Um, I will say that I think everyone has the potential to be good people. Um, as long as the conditions and the upbringing that they have are good, the society they have is good. People can improve themselves. They can become better if they just, if they want to, they can become better. So I don't think being a good person has anything to do with race. People of all races can be good people. It doesn't matter if you're a Hapa. It doesn't matter if you're white or black or Latino. You can be a good person. That's fine. Cool, cool. If I decide to go to NYC Anime Convention, I might meet that guy in my server, J-Kid. Yeah, J-Kid is a legend. If you could meet J-Kid, it would be cool. It'd be cool to see you meet him. I've been a fan of J-Kid for a very, very long time. Like 4 years, I think. There is one problem. November 15th is the same day of release of Pokemon Sword and Shield. Do you think you could be able to wait? Like maybe wait until the day after to play it? I don't know. I don't want to play this game anymore. Ugh. Instead, I'm just gonna hold the. It's kind of nice having this tripod thing to hold the camera with. I don't have to hold it with my hands. Star, what's your? I don't have a Discord server. Too many people. I don't like having Discord servers because there's too many people. No, I'm all right. Is he used stars in my yeah? I'm in red server. Pokemon Sword and Shield has so much controversy right now. Does it? I didn't know I didn't know it had controversy. What's going on with Sword and Shield? I haven't kept up with the news about it. Still on Windows 7. Lucky my PC force updated. Oh, that's got to be the worst. Yeah, I hated Windows 10 when I used it. I like Windows 7 much more. I'm more of a Linux person. I'm just kind of forced to use Windows because that's how I edit videos because Sony Vegas isn't on they're not on any other platforms, so I have to use I tried to use Wine. I tried to make Sony Vegas work on Linux with Wine, but it didn't work. So I'm kind of stuck using Windows, at least dual booting. You can never please gamers anyway. That is true. Gamers will always be upset about some little detail not being there. I'm on Linux running Debian. Debian is nice. I unfortunately use Ubuntu on my laptop. I put on Ubuntu just because it's really easy to run. Yeah, there's some stuff about it lacking animations in new Pokemon. Not sure. I mean, they've had the same Pokemon, or at least the same like first set of Pokemon forever. Adding new ones doesn't really seem too necessary to me. Paisano in the chat says you can shortcut on Linux, MX Linux. It's interesting seeing you here, Paisano, because I always see you on Hiding in My Room streams. You're a mod in his chat, aren't you? It's kind of cool that you watch my streams. I want to. Part of me kind of wants to become friends with Daniel. That sounds kind of like a weird thing to say, but I want to meet him IRL and just talk to him. It would probably be pretty awkward, so I'd have to like utilize better social skills or something, but I don't want to be friends with Daniel Lord. I think a lot of people don't. I just think it's interesting. Ubuntu is just Debian with a lot of bloat to make it easier for normies. It makes sense. Um, uh, Huge cuts to the national decks. Charmander is the only starter other than Gen 8 starters. That sounds like they were trying to make it easier. That sounds like they were trying to make it easier for little kids in a way. It's so weird seeing star commenters in Digibro and hiding in my room comment sections, but it's pretty cool to recognize it. I think it's pretty cool to recognize it as well. It kind of shows where my audience comes from, is that like I have, I guess, the same appeal in a way. I think I have my own appeal. Like a lot of people say that I'm like a ripoff or something, but I mean Daniel Lord. Uh, yeah, I think that's what you said the first time. Star, I want to know about your delusions. I'm curious. Do you mean the stuff that I hallucinate, or do you mean like believing things that are there that are not? I mean, I have a video called "How I Experience Hallucinations," where I give like a general history of hallucinating with me and stuff. But I guess the long and I see the video. Yeah, that video explains it. But I guess the long and short of it is that I sometimes see things that aren't there, but you don't talk in detail. Um, no, I see shadow people sometimes. Sometimes like I see like actual people, like full on like body figures. Sometimes like I see shapes and stuff. Like my perception of colors can sometimes change if I'm like experiencing it really badly. Um, I I hear the sounds of people talking, sometimes multiple people talking. Like yesterday, I talked about this in my journal. Let's see. I have um, well, I can't see it in the dark, but I yesterday it was interesting. It was very interesting experience because there were multiple people who I was hearing talking about taking a boat out to sea. Is that they wanted to be like Steamboat Willie. They wanted to be like Steamboat Willie and take a boat out to sea. So they had this very detailed conversation about how we would build a raft, how we would build a raft to take a boat out to sea. And it was they multiple guys in my head talking about that we were gonna take a raft to go out to sea. And it was kind of a fun conversation. Like I actually felt in a better mood hearing them talk about that. Um, I hate that paranoia of seeing a humanoid. Have you ever had any supernatural or paranormal experiences? I have not. If I did, probably wouldn't be real. But yeah, so what was I gonna say? Sounds sort of like Kingdom of Hearts, lol. If you don't talk to them back, what is their reaction? I don't really ever talk to them back. I just kind of let them say what they're saying. Build a raft, send me to Cuba on it, thank you. Based Chronica in the chat. Um, but yeah, so they wanted to build a raft, but a lot of the time they're very mean. They'll a lot of the time like it's not fun lately too because they've been talking about my memory lately more and saying this stuff about how I shouldn't have gotten on like medications, and it most of the time the stuff they say doesn't really bother me. Like it doesn't really upset me usually when they talk, but it's I don't know. It's going to school. I think is that when I've been going to school, it's like they've just been pushing my buttons more, trying to find more stuff that I don't want to hear. So really it's like little things. It's not, you know, it will be fun if it would not be fun if I told them something. It just gets worse. It just gets worse when I talk back to them. What I tend to do is that I tend to lay in bed. I go to bed and I close my eye. It's not fun seeing their reaction. But I close my eyes and I go to bed and I put like a blanket over and everything and I try to breathe. I do breathing and stuff. and I just wait until they stop talking, and eventually after long enough they do stop, but they get so loud sometimes. It's scary. Like, because you'll just be doing something, like you'll be going out, you'll and like they'll just shout at you. They'll just shout at you. It's not fun. You no, you don't wish that you've had that experience. That's the thing, is that it's not, it sounds like it's like a cool aesthetic thing, but it's not. It's not something you should romanticize. It is not something that you should want. Um, SSRIs kill hallucinations. Try Kana. It works for me as long as I don't overdo it. I've had a bunch of those SSRI medications. They have never killed hallucinations. Sometimes they've actually made it worse. It will be a great way to approach psychology. I don't know. All of the knowledge that I could possibly have in the world, I would get rid of if I could just get rid of this. I don't, I would probably be normal if I didn't have this problem, you know? Like I would probably be out there like talking to people, and I wouldn't have spent so many years alone, you know? I don't know. Why would you want to be a normie though? Yeah, I don't know. I what do you need what do you need help with, Connor? Do you thank you for the heart in the chat, Bryce. Star, it's okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Um, how if you want to get if you want to get hallucinations, there are ways that you can do it. I don't want to advise you on how to do it, but there is a way. Um, but I really don't think you should. No, I'm not tro well, I'm not going to advise you on that. I study psychology. Well, hmm. If you study psychology, I think you would know about the kind of drugs you would need to use to induce hallucinations. I'm not really buying what you're saying. Um, yeah, I don't. Just Tulpa LARP actual voices are not fun. Take copious amounts of LSD and you will trip for life. If you take too much LSD, you can have a really harmful trip. Um, Uh, well, okay. So yeah, I don't want to be a normie. I tell myself that I tell myself that I like who I am now and the way that I live, and I like being isolated. Being able to like play video games and stuff and make videos like this, but I don't know. It just like, do you ever wonder like what things would be like? I know that's why I told him to do it. No SSRIs and antipsychotic never worked. It's all hell. They make you a zombie, especially Zyprexa. Don't ever take it. It depends on I think it depends on who you are. Um yeah, I think it depends on who you are, if they work or not. They really didn't work for me. I was expecting you to tell me a natural way that maybe you can have the experience. Uh, Watch anime. You haven't been watching anime lately, dude. It's just going. I started watching more anime, but then like going to school just makes me so sad. Like I try to watch a show and I just don't have the energy for it anymore. Like the only thing I can do is just lay in bed and listen to podcasts. Like it's like I have to be forced to go into school each day, and I really don't want to be there. I think let me go back. I think there's some stuff that I missed when I was reading earlier. Yeah, Man Chronicle said no. There, those are antipsychotics. Um, I would be cool if they said useful things like conscious or mentor. Let's see here. Uh, I feel like there was something I missed. Twisted went to the mental hospital because some dude was bullying and he punched the guy. It's sad. Um, I think you would still have these preferences to live alone and enjoy intellectual pursuits, even if you didn't have hallucinations and your memory issues. You're probably right. Um, you're probably right. You know, I just sometimes I sit down and I think like, you know, what would things be like? Would I be a happier person or maybe being happy doesn't really matter as much. I was happier when I wasn't in school, man. Like I remember what it was like. I haven't forgotten. I I know how I felt. Like I look back at old videos and I know how I felt. I was so much happier before I got put back in school. I don't know. Star, I'm talking about your natural way to get that experience. Well, I don't get the experience by just doing something. It's just genetics and my bad experiences in childhood is what produced that. It, you're, it's usually genetic is what the cause is that it's people have had hallucinations all throughout history. There's a lot of sociological stuff that has said like native African tribes had them and stuff. They're there. It's just a genetic thing. Sometimes environmental experiences can play into it too, but it's mostly genetic from what I read. I've wanted to go to a mental hospital but don't have the money to do so. Oh geez. Yeah, that's always the hard part. I had Medicare because my mom is disabled and we live a pretty low income, so yeah, that's sad. Hope that guy is okay. I have to keep the YouTube Live does this all the time. They always kick me off of the thing. Let me go back. Wait, no, it's not showing me all the chat anymore. Okay, there it goes. I what if I open okay, there it goes. Okay. Thank God. Um, let's see here. Oh boy, there's so much stuff. Why would you want to go to a mental hospital? He might be suicidal. Star, I know the type of drug I have to use, but I don't want to use drugs. I want your natural way to get that experience. That's genetic. I don't understand what you're asking. You study psychology. You should know these things. I'm just gonna stop paying attention to you now. A man was murdered at the mental hospital I stayed at by a security guard that strangled him. Jesus Christ. Yeah, there was a kid when I went to the mental hospital that tried to kill a member of staff. They called him Killer Cam. That's what they called him. I feel you, dude. The times I was in the school were worst years of my life. I'm definitely happier to be out of school. School is horrible. Um, Ed, Ed Connor Maynard, you seem to be under the impression he thought it was fun or cool for it to happen to him. Yeah, I think that's what he thinks. I don't like it. Um, Mental hospital makes you worse actually sometimes. It definitely made me worse. I experienced a lot of abuse when I was in the mental hospital. I got assaulted. I got assaulted multiple times. I don't remember if I told you this story or not, but when I was in the mental hospital, I made a shiv out of a chicken bone. I made a weapon. What I did was I ground my teeth against it and I used my fingernails and I made a shiv out of a chicken bone that I had because what I was going to do is that because multiple kids had tried to attack me at that point or who had attacked me, I was going to use the shiv and kill them. But ended up throwing the shiv away because I didn't want to go to jail. I might have been able to win. Uh, I I might have been able to win. Thank you for deleting that message, C. Uh, School is hell. I agree. I was thinking it would help me get neat bucks. It might. Um, it's good to have evidence and stuff like that. Um, School was the real nightmare for anyone with isolation preferences. Glad I flunked out of that environment. I wish I could just get out, but the state is forcing me to go. It does make you worse because at the mental hospital they force inject you with a tranquilizer, sedative drugs, etc. I was injected with one while I was in the shower. It was embarrassing. I think they gave me something like that at one point. If you go, you have to go involuntary. Some states will pay for involuntary stays. Makes sense. Um, let's see here. School was ruining my life. Life now seems like heaven compared to the past. Yeah. I can't believe I wanted to go, man. I thought I was going to be able to like do the normie thing and I thought it was going to improve just by being there and I realized I hated it, you know? Um let's see. Connor, just hold your fucking breath for 5 minutes. Connor, what's your first language? Um yeah, I'm not going to read what he's saying. Star, I would like to know about your psychotic breaks. Sure, what would you want to know? Um, yeah, ask me. Ask me anything, I guess. That's what we're doing now. Rip Connor, oh whoa, ooh woo, rip, R.I.P. Connor is gone. Looks like he's gone. Yeah, good. Uh, thank you, C again. C is a good mod. Wow, 29 viewers. I didn't expect this many people to show up. Um, oh whoa. But yeah, what's your question, Amy? I'm interested as to what you. Let me plug my phone in. Let's see here. My phone char. I think I need to get a new phone charger because every time I plug it in, it gets to slow charging, is what it tells me. Yeah, there it goes again. Slow charging. It always does this. But yeah, what's your question? You can ask. Oh boy. Hmm. I would like to know how you can help yourself in that situation. Um, well, it usually what I do is I just lay down in bed and then wait for it to stop. Um, yeah, psychosis, the only way you can really deal with it is by just not listening to what they tell you. Like, if you're hearing something, for instance, this is really with auditory. With seeing stuff, you just kind of have to wait for it to go away. Um, uh, with hearing stuff, I get under the covers, I close my eyes, and I don't try to respond to what they say. I don't try to provoke them, I just wait for them to stop. And I breathe. Breathing helps. Seeing stuff is a bit harder because it's uh it's more intense when you see stuff. Yeah, it's more intense when you see stuff. Star, I still think your memory is vastly better than the average person. I think maybe I think maybe the reason I give off that impression is because in my pre-recorded videos, if I talk about something in the past, it's usually because I have it written down or because it's in another video. I would not remember any of these things without consulting other references first. Um, yeah, I mean, people IRL in real life, like, I get called out for it pretty often because I can't function the way that they do because of my memory, so I don't really think it's the same. I appreciate the compliment, but it's what my doctors told me and what I've been told by just about everybody is that it's you know, kind of an extreme thing. What do you think that voices are? Um, I don't really know enough about psychology to tell you they're just not real. Um, products of your mind, you know. This album helps me when I have panic attacks, suicidal thoughts, etc. Seed Trishala. Let me look this up. Never heard of this album before. Um, Seed Trishala. Uh, Let's see here. Try Shala. I'm gonna put this, it's an ambient album. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna put this in a watch later list. Yeah, it looks like it's an ambient album. I'm trying to find, okay, so it's on Bandcamp. Yeah, because I tried to find a version of it on YouTube, but on YouTube they didn't have it. I think that is kind of psychedelic. The music or what? Yeah. I told a friend of mine that he thinks panic attacks are the cause for external entities. I mean, sometimes things outside of your control can cause panic attacks. Uh, you hear of Negative XP, aka Shooter, before. Comfy music. Yeah, I like Negative XP. I like his song, Scott Pilgrim Ruined a Whole Generation of Women. That song is funny. Any suggestion? Does anyone have a suggestion for things like Gorshit's Lollycore albums? I mean, listen to Ema Mouse. Ema Mouse is pretty similar. I like Ema Mouse. Um, Ambient is my favorite music genre. The beginning is a little intense, but skip the first song if it's too much. Yeah, I like ambient music. It's not my favorite, but for the longest time I said instrumentals were my favorite album, or my favorite genre. It's probably my favorite is probably my favorite is can't seem to make my own completely original music, but I think I'm pretty good at making remixes or making up songs into remixes. I like your remixes, Red. I haven't listened to all of them though, just because it takes a I takes I think actually yeah, those are pretty much the only videos on your channel I haven't watched all of, are the remixes. Um, Red, if you'd like, I can tell you basic music theory stuff. Um, oh boy, notification. Chapo Trap House posted a new track. I guess I'll listen to that later. My favorite kind of music are generally without lyrics. I feel like lyrics are kind of distinct from the music itself. Yeah, I like music without lyrics. Or it's lyrics I can't understand. I listen to music. Star, what year of school are you in? Well, I'm supposed to be in 11th grade. Really, I'm supposed to be in senior year, but I'm in 11th grade. But in the program that I'm in, I'm basically being forced to do work from ages ago because I have to go back. I have to go back and recover all of the credits that I missed when I dropped out of high school. So, um, I prefer lyrical music. I like to relate to the music for it to have some kind of message I relate to. I like lyrical music sometimes too. Like one of my favorite albums is Love Love Songs for the Apocalypse by Johnny Hobo because the lyrics are they speak to me in a lot of ways. I was a loner until there were no friends left. And when someone offered me drugs, I can't remember the rest of the lyrics actually. I was gonna pretend to know the lyrics that I didn't remember. I feel like too many people equate lyricism with musicality. I don't know these terms. Why not get a GED instead of going back to school? That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do, but the state that I'm in, you have to have a valid reason to get a GED and they won't let you get a GED without going through the court. You have to do this whole court process and stuff, and you have to pay money to do it. And well, sometimes I wish I could just get in a car and leave. But I wouldn't have my room or any of my stuff anymore. All Beatles music is great, even the early days. I like a lot of Beatles music. There's some songs by them I don't like, but I like a lot of Beatles music too. Uh, I really wish I could drive away from here too. Too scared and traumatized to drive though. Yeah. I'm gonna have to learn to drive at one point. You know, I either I don't have hot cocoa right now. If anyone wants to listen. I think the places that I would most likely that I would want to live in the most in the United States at least are like Maine or Alaska. There's a town in Maine that I went to the mental hospital there called Fort Kent. I actually didn't know what the town was called because I remembered going there, but I had to Google it because I knew the county was somewhere in northern Maine, so I narrowed it down. I looked up northern Maine and I looked through all the counties and I found out which county it was, and so I just looked down into all of the cities that were in that county until I found eventually where the mental hospital was. And when I found out it was that, I knew what the name of the city was Fort Kent. So I had to do some like investigative journalism type shit. Um, and I but I want to go to Fort Kent because if I stayed in the U.S., I would either want to be in Fort Kent in Maine or in Alaska. But I like Fort Kent because there's no people there basically, but there's just enough. Like they have a McDonald's and they have a store and stuff, but that's basically it. But like there's basically no people there. Let me find some pictures of this place because there's basically no, yeah, extreme cold versus extreme heat. I agree. Um, find an example is that the town basically looks like this. Or is that it? Is that a real picture? Let me find. Maybe Google has something better. I don't think DuckDuckGo is sufficing right now. Let me see here. I'm gonna Google BookChan. Yeah, okay, Google will have a better image result. But yeah, it basically looks like this, like it's really very rural area. There's not much there. It's pretty small, but I would want to live here basically. Um, but it was so cool. I wish I had I wish I took a picture of it at the time because it was snowing outside. Let me try and find a good picture. Man, there really aren't any good pictures that they have. Look at this. Snowy trees. Um, but yeah, it was a nice place. I liked Fort Kent and actually, let me try and find because there's a map. There's a map where I can show you where it is. But I would want to live there. Yeah, it says there's 4,000 people there. Yeah, this is where it is, right here. Right. Yeah, right. Oh wait, no, they took away the dot. So yeah, it's right here. It's on the border. So you can walk into Canada there. And so yeah, that was where I went to the mental hospital and there. Right here on the border. Um but yeah, kind of comfy vibes, like kind of a small place. Um I don't go to Canada because I would have to get citizenship and you can't really get neat bucks. You can't really get neat bucks if you're just becoming a citizen or whatever. It takes like 5 years to become a citizen. Um, let's see here. Would love to go to some town in the Alps or Switzerland or Austria, but I like Alaska a lot too. I might go to Alaska because Alaska's really cool. But this was the county I used to live in was Aroostook. This one. Yeah, let me find a picture. Hard to find pictures of these places. Because I know the town was called Caribou. That was the city. This one. Yeah, this one, it has stuff that looks like this. Basically, yeah, this was where I lived, was this place, Caribou. It was a nice place to live. We couldn't afford living there, so we had to go. But yeah, it had lots of stuff like this, and this overhead view, a small place, and yeah, we had stuff that looked like that too. Alaska has some cheap land. Internet sucks though. They do have cheap land, cheap homes, and this and that. Yeah, I saw stuff like this. I saw stuff like this when I was living there. uh, yeah, it was a good time. They have these random like monuments of this kind of thing. Um, but yeah, uh, so what was I gonna say? TFW don't live in a small cozy town. How that feel? Living in small towns like that is hell without a car. Yeah, that's why I would have to have a car eventually. I'd have to learn to drive eventually. Um, but I mean, it would be nice if I could just be away from everybody at least. I live in a city and it's hell without a car. But yeah, I think just get a horse, bro. Uh but yeah, I think like maybe what I could do is like I don't know, maybe what I could do is just like buy a house somewhere, like just buy a house, like find a cheap house, like a cheap one, not like a super expensive house that's enough for me to live in, and then just like have, I don't know, like a 20 or 30-year loan or something, and then just I don't know, just pay that off like forever and just stay in that house. Star, let's learn Hebrew. I don't even have time to learn Japanese anymore. I imagine that you could be cute and use Haruko's Vespa to get around town. Thank you. Yeah, no, I don't even have time to learn Japanese anymore. Driving is the easy part. The insurance and other costs are the problem. I wouldn't even pay for those things. Um, yeah, I wouldn't even pay for those things if I had a car. I don't care. If I did have to pay for insurance, I would pay like for one of those mock insurance companies that don't provide you any services, but you have to pay like $30. I think I remember reading about that somewhere. I thought about getting a Patel powered car or golf cart if I ever got to a small town again. Maybe a rickshaw. Nice. Bro, go back to learning Japanese and I will be your conversation buddy. I just haven't had the time, man. Either that or I'm too depressed. It it would be such a pain and waste of time dealing with car accidents. I mean, just don't get in an accident. Just never give up, bro. Yeah, just don't get into a car accident. That's all you have to do. Star, let's make the time, Star. I mean, I think other people work that way. I don't work that way. Depending on the state, though, you need a plan to get a license. Gym, bro. Yeah, I would need to yeah, I'd need to get a license and stuff, but um gym star. Yeah, no, I gotta make gym videos now. That's gonna be my field of expertise is making gym videos. Time spent streaming now is an example of time to learn Nihongo. Actually, no, stream instead. Well, the thing is that the time that I would have spent trying to learn Japanese in this time would not have even done anything because today I have the day off, right? And tomorrow I have the day off. That's the only reason I'm streaming right now is because on Saturday and Sunday I was still recovering from having to go to school all those days. But like It's weird because I only ever stream when I get 4 days off. I've noticed this pattern of mine because on Saturday and Sunday I'm so depressed about the fact that I have to go back to school the next week that I'm spending the entire day just recovering from how bad I felt going to school for that week, you know? Um, and so I never can use for Hebrew and Japanese at the same time and Chinese. Well, like it's not like when I was in need, I would have said that. When I was in need, I would have had the energy to do those things. I don't have the energy to do those things these days. Where like, and I like streaming. The thing, like, I have a feeling if I didn't make as many videos as I make, I wouldn't be making the money that I do from it. Like, I have to be making these videos partly because I know that if I wasn't consistent with it, I wouldn't be making as much money, and I need that money to keep the lights on and shit, dude. Like, I use that money to be able to I use that money to be able to keep myself afloat here, you know? Chad Advice 2.0 just became a need. How can we help? We are here for that. Back, got some Little Debbie cakes, comfy food, nice. I'm glad you're over the Jew vibes, dude. We need weeb otaku degeneracy back, bro. I mean, I wish I could give you that. I'm just stuck going to school. What's the hardest part about school for you? Being forced to be on a schedule where I have to wake up every day, being forced to be around other people, the work, I don't like the monotonous work. Um, I never get enough sleep going to school each day because I obviously, like you guys know about my sleeping problems. Bulk up by eating the rubber mat in your lawn. I don't, where is this rubber mat coming from? I don't even have a rubber mat in my lawn. Have you seen any non-normies in your school yet? Um, uh, no? Otaku's Jews are cool. I like Jew animations. Interesting. Um, but yeah, what is Jew animation? I've never seen an Israeli animation before. I don't think they have those, to be honest. Did you wake up before in sleep paralysis? I haven't had sleep paralysis in a long time. Maybe I've never had sleep paralysis. I don't know. Have I? I don't think I've had it in a long time. That sounds like something that could have happened. Did I wake up in sleep paralysis? Uh, I just have a lot of trouble getting to sleep. Jew animations are anime, but in Israel. Do they make anime? Do they really? Anime with a Jew style. With a Jew style. I don't know why I think that's so funny. I just did what I was supposed to do for all this time and turn the phone screen down. Anime with a Jew style. They do, but they're not popular. Wow, I had no idea that exists. Are you talking about the guy from Ghost Stories with the big lips? Who? I'm confused. Um, let's see here. This is my water. I have water here. Um, uh, but yeah, so what was I gonna say? I think I need to cut down my Discord friends list. I think I went over 10. Sometimes I go over 10 and then I talk to the people for a little while. Star, don't go yet. Don't even try. I don't know why I would be leaving. Hmm. Unless the phone ran out of batteries. It's at 5% now. It's charging. It's just not charging very fast. The silence got us worried. Hmm. Don't cut me out yet, LMAO. I don't have you on Discord anymore, see? You'd have to send me your Discord on Mal. I don't have you on my current Discord. Hmm. Oh shit, let me do that. Yeah. Um, what was I gonna say? Hmm. Hmm. I've been meaning to send you a shitty podcast I made. Nice. See, join my server. I can send him an invite. Hmm. Yeah. I kind of wish I lived in an attic like, I kind of wish I lived in an attic like Red. The only difference is that I would want to live in an attic, I would want to live in an attic where I don't live with my parents. Like Red has to live with his parents, and I would also want to live in an attic where it's cold more. Hmm. Star, who was the guy that said he makes bots to give dislikes and answer his own comments? Um, I never heard of that guy. Yeah, I live in my mom's attic, Keg. At least you don't live in your mom's basement. Old H-Chan Hiki board owner. Oh, okay. I didn't know, yeah, I didn't know who you guys were talking about. That sounds like something Hiki Fag would say. Who the fuck is DMing me? Oh, I just got an email. New private message on Mal. Oh, okay. It looks like C sent me a message about something. I'll read that later. Mm. I'm Mars Gears. Okay. In your second channel. Oh, he's sending me his Discord? Okay. But you were the one who talks about it? In your second channel, you were the one who says that. Um, I'm not really sure what you're referring to. Anyone here collect anime stuff? I make anime figurines, my little friends. I would collect anime stuff if I had the time. Um, do you want the link? No, it's not that big of a deal. I think the chat at Red, is there any way I can send you my Discord? It's not a big deal. But yeah, I would collect anime stuff if I could afford it. I just can't afford it. Hmm. No, the money that I have that doesn't go to like necessities, I usually just spend on food that I like, or I buy books or a video game or something. But most of it ends up going to having to pay bills and stuff. Mm. Yeah, just join the server through Star. God. Do you like books in the medieval style? Not really. I'm not really interested in medieval literature. I'm really sad, guys. I'm not sure. I don't think I was sad when I was just tired when I started the stream. I don't know. I feel like crying, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to. Well, really, I shouldn't do that in a YouTube video, but that's that's how I feel. Are you in meds? Do you mean am I taking medications? No. Yes, cry please. I'm not doing that on a video. Hugs. Thank you. Tired. It's sort of wait. It's sort of kind of late. Sad because I have class tomorrow. We talked about a lot of depressing topics. I mean, I don't mind talking about most depressing stuff. I don't really remember. If you need to leave the stream to take care of yourself, please do so. Your emotions are more important. Thank you. It will be epic to listen to Star cry. It will be epic to listen to Star crying. That's pretty based. I appreciate this. I appreciate this Amy Rodriguez person. A cure to the sadness is laughter. Yeah, it's pretty based. I appreciate this. For wanting to be a psychologist, Connor is a retard when it comes to people's emotions. Yeah. Why is what is so hard about getting a girlfriend? A girl can make you happy like me. Where did this person come from? Who is this Korean characters Aki person? Korean characters Aki says, "What is so hard about getting a girlfriend? A girl can this seems like a normal fag. This seems like a normal fag. Should I ban this person? I don't think I should. Alert girl in the chat. I banned Aki from my channel. What did they Oh, I'm just saying no offense. Um I'm no, I'm not. I'm a nice person. Okay. So what is this history? I need to know. I need to know. Red says he said it's offensive to call someone a normal fag. Aki, you have 2 comments to prove you're not a normie. Let's go. It's offensive to call. Who says it's offensive to call someone a normal fag? It's, oh, dude, you shouldn't say the word fag, dude. You shouldn't say the word fag. It's the reason these words, okay, the reason these words have any power whatsoever is because we allow them to have power. Now, if you go up on the street and call like a gay person a fag and you're shouting at them or something, obviously that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. That's harassment. But if you just say the word fag, who the fuck cares? You are literally making yourself get offended over something that harms no one. It's a word. And you could make the argument, oh, it propagates disrespectful attitudes or something. No, it does not. You're just saying the word. You're saying the word in a context that's totally like removed from gay people. And when you say normal fag, it doesn't have anything to do with gay people. You're just saying normal fag. It's just a different word. And these people who get triggered over, oh, you shouldn't say the word you shouldn't say the word fag, dude. You're just making yourself get offended over nothing, you know? I love calling people fag and being called a fag. See, C in the chat is based. C is an actual gay person. Um, let's see. Huh? Red, I don't know who you're talking about. Aki, we want to listen to your point. Maybe you do. You probably mistaken me with someone else. I think you found your channel through me. I'm Yoshika Miyako. My point is that a hikikomori or incel can easily cure their depression by finding a girlfriend. Just go on Tinder. Women aren't incels slash hikikomori, so I think this is exclusively a male issue, right? Oh my god, dude, this guy has to be trolling. This dude has to be trolling. There's no way. There's no way. You can't cure depression with a girlfriend. Tinder only works for Chad. I completely agree with Pisano. Because Tinder is only about your looks. It's only about your physical appearance. So if your physical appearance is good, people are going to swipe right or whatever it is on you and choose you. If you don't have a good physical appearance, people aren't going to give a fuck. Like literally women, the vast majority of women are so shallow that they will pick pedophiles on Tinder if they look at all good. Tinder only works for Chad. Literally, the vast majority of these people are so shallow that they will pick actual pedophiles who just look decent enough. Let's see, this is mega bait. This has to be bait. Star, there are undercover gays here. Help, help, Star. Tinder is a dark place, completely agree. Hit the gym, bruh, in quotations. He's not trolling, dude. I know he's a troll. Aki is a normal fag. I told you I banned him earlier. I checked their channel and they have a K-pop guy girl, so double digit IQ. No one reads the bio, just go on Tinder. Lol. Star, I want to know how he came to that conclusion. That's why I want to hear his history. Um, I've decided I will not use moderator actions on Aki so long as their comments can continue to be interpreted as hilarious trolls. Good decision, C. Uh, exactly. That's why it's extremely difficult for me to make a female friend online because they think I'm a loser. Just a bunch of bitches. Sorry, excuse my language. No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Like, they're socially conditioned. They're socially conditioned to care about your appearance. And also part of that is biology too. You know, if you look good, you want to be able to marry someone who looks good in order to produce better offspring. Um, they look at your appearance and they go, ooh, ah, this person looks like my father, and I want to be with them because they look like dad. You know, like there's these psychological factors that end up producing a result that's going to get you hurt in the end. Like, let's see here. Star, pretty sure Aki found you through me. Uh, Definitely talking to people IRL can give a lot of power to get past that social aspect. Doesn't always work though. That, or wait, no, that shallow, what does he say? Yeah, shallow aspect. Why Amy said truth. And yeah, the biological aspect is a painful truth for many. Yeah, and so like it's weird to me that they just say, "Oh, just go on Tinder, bro." If you don't look good, if you do not have a good physical appearance, you are not going to win on Tinder. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. And if you do get someone, they're probably going to be a retarded normie. Uh, Dirt's D and Dish says, "What up, fam?" We're railing against this Korean person in the chat who showed up and said to get a GF. Like, okay, and the other thing he said was that he said getting a GF will cure depression. Getting a GF will literally not. Depression is a sociological and biological issue in which the chemicals in your brain or the life experiences that you've had or a combination of the two cause you to be continually unhappy in situations that are totally normal where you shouldn't be unhappy. That's depression in a nutshell. It is the illness that makes it feel like getting up tomorrow will not mean anything because there's nothing to look forward to. That 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 waking up today isn't so Koreans, am I right? Um, they will make your depression worse. In a lot of cases, they will. Because, okay, people who are really depressed should not get in relationships. This is serious right here. If you're really, really depressed, most likely, with the majority of relationships everyone gets into, they're going to fail. A lot of the relationships, it's like a lottery game. It's a leap of faith. If you get into a relationship with somebody and you have severe mental illness that you have not yet work out those problems before getting into a relationship because it's just going to hurt more. It's going to hurt way more if you haven't worked out your problems first. So it's insane to me. Well, a girl I tried befriending recently blocked me because I have autism and I wasn't as pretty as she is. That's what I'm talking about. It's the shallow. They're such shallow people. And it's yeah, let's see here. But you guys are cooler, so screw everyone else. Thank you. Um, I'm going to bed. Good night, guys. Good night, North Royalton. You can't stop me. Good night. I'm Korean XD at sea. Um, Yuyiko talked to me. Aki seems like a Korea boo. Look at her channel. Korean gang gang. I parted ways with relationships years ago and have been much happier for it. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's literally just a lottery game. Voluntary celibacy. Voluntary celibacy is the way forward. Voluntary celibacy will be the happiest life because all of the pain and suffering of relationships, all the fucking lottery game where you force yourself to be in those situations, and end up getting hurt in the end because it doesn't work out. You don't have to deal with any of that. Just deal with a comfy life. Have a comfy life. I think he told me he's a tranny. Uh, Being out of a relationship has only made me realize how much happier I was in one. Um, maybe maybe not focus so much on the positive aspects of what being in that relationship was, or do focus on them and try to get into another one. I mean, personally, I recommend not being in one, but I'm probably just talking from my own personal experiences. I don't know. Um, Even though I was depressed then too. Maybe you're just the kind of person who prefers it. Now maybe you're the kind of person who would be happier in one long term. I don't know. Um, let's see here. Uh, we can be friends. Even best case scenario is not a good or a beneficial play for me personally. Once they make a true robo AI waifus, maybe that relationship could help with your depression, lol. Um, But yeah, no, depression is it's an illness. It's like cancer or something. It's not, it's not something you can just cure by waving a magic wand and getting a girlfriend. Mm. You showed your face to her and she blocked you. Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. It's funny, I knew this girl, in a on Discord who literally like she was like 16 years old, and I'll never forget this story. She told me that she had sex in school literally because all of her friends were talking about having sex and she just wanted to get it over with. Like that was in quotation. She literally said, "I just wanted to get it over with" because all of her friends were pressuring her to do it and she really didn't want to do it because she had said that she wouldn't be accepted by the other girls in her school if she didn't do it. And I was like, wow, this is the tribal mindset right here. Um, let's see here. Uh, yes, because I was stupid. She asked for a picture of me and I sent it and never talked to me again. That's messed up. Um, fuck women 2x. Yeah, I'm sick of them too. We need to end humanity. Can we end humanity? Hmm. Hmm. Let's see here. Double plus fuck humans. I agree. Legit, if there was a realistic AI waifu bot in a fairly realistic AI, I I would never ever unplug. Most vaginas are pretty gross. Climate change is God's wrath. I could see it. Makes sense. Um, Superficial bitches always tired of being alone. Um, I mean, if you're tired of being alone, then try and work out why you are alone, and then find friends who you connect with. Like I've known people who like they didn't have enough friendships, and so they thought getting a GF would fix their problem. But I think getting friendships for a lot of people would be better. You seem to know a lot about J-Kid. Who knows a lot about J-Kid? I'm confused. Um, the moment that she asks for you a picture, you might encounter one or two nice ones, but they are mostly gross. Friendship is better than that. They genuinely hate everyone else, probably. Hmm. That's a difficult problem to have if you hate everybody, but you don't want to but you do want to interact with them at the same time. Yeah, I wouldn't know how to. That I've never had that problem. Let's see. Oh man, I feel bad. Hmm. I only want a friendship. That's all. You do you have a Discord? Night fam. Catch you next time. Yeah. Thank you. I'll see you later. I can't really tell. Is Amy Rodriguez's first language English? It really doesn't seem like it. That's not an insult. I'm just kind of confused. I hate most people, but I have a friend and some IRL acquaintances. I don't know how the fuck I do it sometimes. Probably going to school for your whole life. I would have social skills if I, um, Shiverless posts a comment on your Mal based. Thank you. Um, we are all our profile pictures based. I like the 1970s Robin Hood movie, but it was the animated one. It was the one that where it was by Disney. That movie was cool. Where it was the one with the foxes, or yeah, Robin Hood was a fox in that movie. Yes, I'm Kung Fu Master. Yes, I'm my profile picture. I'm an anime girl, based. I want to watch the Disney Robin Hood movie again. I program my corrector for write in French. Oh, okay. So she's French. Makes sense. Hmm. Streaming the Robin Hood movie. Hmm. I wish Rabbit still existed so we could all watch movies on it. Anyone else use that site? I think Discord basically has their own version of that now in servers where you can share, screen share live and to do watch parties. Amy, are you French Spanish person? Are you the French Spanish person from some streams back? I didn't know we had a French Spanish person. If I uploaded my mind to the internet in the future, I would have a Madatsuki profile as a digital body. I actually don't like profile pictures except on like my anime list or YouTube. I don't like having profile pictures for talking. I don't know why. Avatar. The Last Airbender. Not profile pic. Hmm. Digital body or avatar. I feel like I probably embarrassed myself a lot on this live stream. I mean, I embarrass myself on every live stream I do, but I don't know. I feel like my reputation is hitting a new low. Oh boy. Hmm. Let's see. What should I do? I had a phase where I was infatuated with anime girl avatars with deep male voices. Interesting. Okay. Be yourself in here is what makes you interesting. I look back on that and laugh. Well, thank you, Amy, for being so nice. Uh, mm, do 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 do. Were you ever recognized in public? I don't think I've been recognized in public before. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been recognized in public from my videos. Being yourself isn't embarrassing. People who take the piss over it are assholes. Thank you. Um, I should probably change my avatar and YouTube profile name. I hate my profile name. I made it like 7 years ago. Wow. I mean, I like that your name is kind of unique. I don't really see anyone with the name Sir Appleteen. Kind of reminds me of this guy called Johnny Alphaseed, where you would think his name would be Johnny Appleseed, but no, it's not Johnny Appleseed, it's Johnny Alphaseed. I should tell you guys about that guy sometime. He's pretty cool. He has a YouTube channel called Based Content, and it's pretty fun. I just wish that he would film his videos with his phone turned around, because all of his videos are filmed with his phone standing up, and so they're in the phone aspect ratio. And I really wish you would just record them like the normal way. Like all you have to do is turn your phone around, man. But I really like his videos. Yeah, I told him to record it the other way. I don't know why he doesn't do it. But yeah, I like Johnny Alpha Seed. But yeah, it's basically kind of like Johnny Appleseed. But you could be like Sir Alphaton. So instead of being Sir Appleton, you could be Sir Alphaton. His videos aren't my style. I like his videos. They're kind of like, vlog, this kind of thing. He's embracing the Zoomer paradigm. I don't like that. When I run out of content, I'm gonna start. Sir Asshole says Big Poppy. Hello, Big Poppy. You're here 3 hours and 30 minutes into the live stream. Jesus Christ, you're still talking trash about me. I haven't said anything in quite some time, so are you going back in the stream or I'm confused. Man, all this Zoomer Boomer language is gonna sound so dumb in a few years. I mean, it sounds the same with about every trend. I like archiving trends where I still use old trendy language from a couple years ago internet, and I still like some of the old memes from a couple years ago internet. Like I still do the Harambe memes. No one except for me likes the Harambe memes. No one does. uh Go away, normal fag at Aki. Yeah, based red for deleting the message. I still say swag. I say swag ironically. It doesn't speak in 1337 speak still. Fucking normie. I agree. Hello, I hope you're doing well. I was here a month ago asking for advice, and I wanted to come back and say that you are a partial reason as to why I'm still alive right now. Thank you. Holy shit. I'm I'm really glad I was able to help you, Auntie Needle. Oh my God. The I just want to come back and say that you are a partial reason as to why I'm still alive right now. Oh my God. No, thank you. Thank you for still going on. Oh my God. Um, I'm glad you're still here, man. Even though you're just in and on, leaving comments on these streams. Keep going. There's always a chance. There's always a chance to improve and to live a better life as long as you're here. If you end your life, then there's no chance anymore because you're gone. Um, so always remember happy day. When the day is dark and gray, always remember happy day. Enter memes into Google and they're all dated from like 15 years ago. It's true. Um, let's see here. Do. That's how I got into memes in middle school. Red says, "Whoa, congrats, Anti-Needle." Yeah, really, congrats to him. You are the man. Like the fact that, as someone who has some of the suicide attempts under my belt, I have a enough of a power level, enough of a suicide attempting power level to know that that it's not always an easy thing to come back from if it were to potentially go wrong, you know. How did he stop you from committing suicide, says Inspector Lolly. At Inspector Lolly, when I was really down, I came to this stream and he gave a really good speech about how if I'm alive, I always have the potential to change, etc. Star is a great person. Thank you. No, I'm really happy that that I was able to be able to help you, man. If you want to talk, I guess I can give you my Discord. I don't really give my Discord out anymore because I want to keep out normies, but um if you enter star hashtag 7544 into Discord, you can find me on Discord. If you ever need to talk, I I'll be there. Or I can just go to your YouTube channel and I can comment it there so it'll be easier to so it'll be easier for you to find it cuz I don't want you to be alone if you need someone to talk to. Um let's see here. Bro, did you really just say 1337 speak? In response to what? I don't really know what I said that to. Star, always remember that you can save someone here. Remember that every time you have plans to leave this channel. I have not had plans to leave this channel in a very, very long time. It's been quite some time. I think actually, yeah, the last time was when I was trying to become a wage cuck. It was when I was trying to become a wage cuck like a long ass time ago. So yeah, no, 30 1337 is 1337 is the long-awaited sequel to George Orwell's 1984. Interesting. I low-key think Amy is a normal femoid. Big Poppy quotes femoid. Star, why will a normie follow you here? That's a good question. I don't think a normie would actually be watching my videos. Yeah, Star is a really great person. Thank you. I really don't think I am. I mean, we're all just out here trying to do our own thing. I'm here. Epic, epic lead hacksers. Epic lead hacksers. Oh boy. Hmm. Epic lead. I love the epic hackser meme. Hmm. Epic lead hacksers with two X's. Epic star. That will be your name. Man, do you actually still say femoid? I say femoid because I think it's a funny joke. Um, I mean, I love R9K Speak. R9K Speak is fun. I go there all the time. Mm, I was actually on R9K today. Let's see. Hmm. Who is not for R9K, right? It is for R9K. I liked 8chan R9K, but they seem to have not brought it back yet. Um, yeah, they seem to have not brought it back yet. I mean, it's I understand. Okay, no, I understand. I understand that it's like a Reddit tier kind of thing. I get it. I get that it's Reddit. I know that it's for gag. I understand. But but I don't know. Maybe I like it because it's so bad. Uh, Ether Alhmand in the chat says some Arabic characters. Unfortunately, I don't speak Arabic. I can't really read what you're saying. I apologize. Um, Big Mommy, you look like a big boomer to me. Okay, that is an American president that Big Poppy has as his profile picture. Who is that? Um, what is it? It's I know who this guy is. I've seen this guy before. It's an American president. I don't know who this. I don't get these Arabic characters, lady. Rutherford B. Hayes, thank you. Um, I said Big Poppy is a fucking normie. I see. Are you? Who is this? Who is this Arabic woman in my chat? So many. I kick his ass out. I mean, I like this guy. I like this Big Poppy guy. I'm not gonna kick out everyone who is exactly a normie. Let me LARP our man I330 and say, let it gag, shake my head. Big Poppy is about to get exposed. I really don't care. Um, Big Poppy's a good guy. I like him. Listen, listen, listen. Not every single normie is a terrible person, all right? I am very much not a boomer. I find R9K fascinating, makes me feel a little bit better about myself too. And then Sir Appleton correctly says, bro. Um, HNR9K seems unlikely to come back since Tyrone is gone. It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. I loved HNR9K. I want to give everybody on R9K a hug, even though they probably smell terrible. That's pretty based. Speak English only. I agree. I like him. I like him too. Guess what he did? Whatever. If I really wanted to meme it up, I would have picked Pole or K. Thank you, May Rodriguez. I think he's pretty funny. Why not use one of those bunkers? Last month, he linked a child porn file on my, let's see, kick him out, just for his ass goodbye. I mean, I really... LMAO, what the fuck? I really don't believe who this person is. Plus, isn't accusing someone of like linking child porn like a crime? I think that's a crime. That's defamation, isn't it? Calling someone a pedophile who for linking child porn without that being true, that's technically libel. Oh, libel's the word, not defamation. Like you could sue someone for that. I mean, obviously it's the internet, so he's not going to, but that's technically libel because if you accuse someone of being a pedophile, then that can keep them from getting a job, that can keep them from getting into university. So that's technically a crime under U.S. law. That's libel, but isn't 8chan migrating their boards to 8kun at the moment? Yes, they currently are, but a lot of the boards aren't there yet. I think it's like 68 boards that they've gotten there so far. Um, Wait, are they calling me a pedo? Yeah, no, they literally are. That's what they just said is that they said that last month, Big Poppy linked child porn file to my friend on Dropbox via Reddit. Fucking loser, kick him out. Just keep your channel safe before YouTube bans you for his ass. Goodbye. That's what they said. Um, I have no idea what that's about. I mean, even if you were a pedo, I would not care. You're just an anonymous person online. It does not matter. Um, Anonymous people on the internet, they're just. I don't even have a Dropbox account. LMAO. See, this is why I said they were most likely a troll. Oh, boy. Not every board is being brought over. The owner needs to claim it. Yeah, the owner needs to claim the board that they owned. Mm-hmm. Either what are you talking about? I'm not entirely sure. I actually forgot what we were. Has Ether been on any other stream? Who's Ether? Ether. Hmm. Ether is most like a troll. The Arabic speak. Oh, the Arabic speak. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have no doubt that they're a troll. She is danger. I don't know where do these people come from? Sometimes we get some strange folks on my streams. The one reason why I would want to get bigger on YouTube is to find more strange commenters. I really I don't. Oh boy, we're at 1% battery. My phone is plugged in, but we're at 1% battery. So if the phone like randomly dies all of a sudden, it is because the battery ran out. Um, Maybe they go to the live streaming tab and hold down the key in for the stream for a bit and hit a random stream. That would be hilarious. I know there are people who do stuff like that on YouTube. Um, but yeah, I'm at 1% battery now. We got to 3 hours and 44 minutes of streaming. Hmm, do, 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 do. Uh, there are women who claim rape like her. There are, unfortunately. Um, you might need a new charger. Some cords can get weak after a while. I think I need a new charger as well. Good night if your phone dies, Star. Thank you, Star. Use my charge. I would if I were there physically. You probably have a European plug. I fucking love YouTube because there's so much weird shit like 5 views that someone in Pakistan or Korea uploaded, and they're just sharing their personal life. Me too. I love finding stuff like that. It's why I sometimes go on the deep into YouTube subreddit is because I can find people who are just like the weirdest guys ever. And that's what YouTube is meant to be. It's to find interesting and strange stuff that, feel like you're on the deep side of YouTube, the weird part of YouTube. I love stuff like that. You can plug your phone into a EU outlet as long as you have the correct shaped plug. Oh, okay. It might be someone linking the stream elsewhere online that they might be coming from. YouTube. Yeah, it is you. Don't need a converter. Star is epic in his own way. Thank you. Um, these streams are such a self-confidence boost. I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place without you guys. Um, let's see here. Hey Star, do you like Star? I give him a 6 out of 10. He's decent. Hmm. I actually found this channel off that subreddit, Based. That's very based. Everyone say I cannot read the Korean script. To thank Star's phone for working so hard for our sake. This is actually a Samsung phone, which is a Korean company. So ironically, speaking Korean to the phone would make sense. Look at this picture. Okay, so I'm on R9K right now, and it says this is what the right wingers look like in my country, and it's literally. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong picture. You got this fedora guy. Look at this fedora guy. Oh my God, I love this picture. He's wearing a fucking fedora. This is amazing. Look at this guy. Look at these guys. Okay, I just had to share that because I was on R9K and it was pretty funny. The pink hat. I know the pink hat is great. Um, at Sir, Star was the TF2 YouTuber, right? I'm confused. Yeah, oh, it's TF2. He is based. Choose your fighter. Yeah, choose your fighter right here. I love how look at this guy with the pink hat. He's got the what is it? The iron thing that the Nazis wore. It's an old German Empire thing that they wore. Iron Cross, I think it's called. I don't know. Iron Cross. Yeah, Sir Appleton confirms. Look at this. This guy. This guy. This is and they have an American flag too, and it says "Don't tread on me." This, this fedora wearing guy. Oh, okay, I just had to show you guys that because it was funny. Big Siege 2.0. Oh my God. Custom character in a in a cutscene. Oh my God, look at this. Look, okay, this guy in the middle is C. This is C right here. He's right here. I like the woman doing the Hitler salute. Dude, this fucking guy has a GF. Look at this. This fucking nerdy ass motherfucker. Okay, Big Poppy in the chat says, I'm about to head out here, evening guys. See you later. Later says DZD, GG Big Poppy. Almost thought the middle guy was lifting 2 arms. Me too, it's great. Star, how many Mexicans do you have in your family? I have no Latino family whatsoever. Good night. Yeah, good night, Big Poppy. Look at this doxed again. I appreciate that. Look at these guys. Look, okay, I'm here for like 5 seconds. 5 seconds I'm here. The phone, the phone is kind of working for a moment, okay? So I'm gonna say goodbye, and then I'm gonna have to stop the stream because we're at 3 hours and 50 minutes now. I think that's a pretty good mark, but we're at 1% battery, and the phone keeps cutting out. Good night, everyone. GGC. Thank you to everyone who's been on the stream and listen to this stuff. Good night, Bryce. Good night, Brian. Good night, C. Good night, the Beast. Who else? Good night, Sir Appleton. Good night, Yukio. Good night, Yi. Good night, Amy. Good night, Luke. Um, I'm gonna wait for like one more person. Owen Repair says bye. Good night. Um, I'm Bye, Fasano. See you later. Buenos noches. Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, and yeah. Bye says Red. Goodbye. Thank you for watching the stream, Red. I always appreciate that you do.